Hi, I'm Danny, 5'7", 120 pounds, willing to shave the beard. And today, I'm going to be reading for George Lopez. Do it.
Don't do it.
Do it, Danny.
No.
Do your George Lopez impersonation.
Carmen, get back to your room this instant. You're grounded. Pretty good, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you like
You'll
my-
never trick me. You'll never get me.
You'll walk into it one of these days. Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you.
I send you one DM pretending to be Danny Trejo, and all of a sudden, you're upset about
Danny,
it.
You just send me Danny Trejo updates. He's like, my favorite game's Animal Crossing. You're like, look at this stupid idiot. I was like, all right, fine, Danny. Thanks for the Trejo update. Danny, well-known supporter of all known Mexican media. That's Danny.
I keep tabs on all famous Mexican actors.
Yep, you're like, oh, we got to stay up to date here.
Yeah.
So we got Danny
Robert
Trejo,
Rodriguez.
the 78-year-old Danny Trejo. We got George Lopez, who stole his wife's kidney and then cheated on her. Anybody else
No.
here? Yeah. Oh,
Don't say it,
No,
please.
please, chat, stop him.
Chat, do something.
Oh, they can't. It's offline.
Sheen Estevez, another incredible Mexican actor. Sheen. We're doing
Oh,
Sheen.
is Sheen Mexican?
Sheen.
Sheen's Mexican?
His name's Sheen Estevez.
I did not know his last name. You have Sheen's last name on deck like that? Yeah. That makes sense. Carl Weiser, Jimmy Neutron, Sheen Estevez. Seemed more like a white town to me. You know? Like, it seemed like New Hampshire. Like, I was like, oh, wait, no, never mind. You know what? Now I'm looking back at it. Jimmy Neutron. What a plethora of representation in that show.
Yeah, it's fucking Boston.
Dude, I'm saying like fucking Carl Weiser. Like that kid's living in an incubator. That's a bubble child. Oh.
Seemed like a white town.
It did.
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, just-
you know, this was definitely a white town, Bikini Bottom.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Got bull riding chipmunks. You kidding me? Fucking ridiculous.
Anyway, welcome to the last episode of Otakus Anonymous.
We missed you guys. Sorry, I was on vacation for a week. Fuck. Why does that keep...
All right, I'll do the George Lopez.
All right, I'll do my Jamaican. 3, 2...
Ernie.
You just keep saying the word Ernie.
I've been watching the George Lopez show, which is why Nick is on my ass about it. It's awesome. Man, it's freaking good. Oh, hell. I just love the George Lopez show.
Danny has the... Oh, man. Gotta keep George Lopez away from Ernie.
Oh, hell.
Got a whole burger between them. Got a whole... Don't even have to worry about it.
Don't even have to worry about it. Oh, hell, let me tell you. I love two things. I love that rascal, Young Sheldon.
Yep.
And I love George Lopez. He's working in a factory.
Imagine the collab. Imagine the collab of the century. Just Young Sheldon. Just
Dude, I want Young Ernie. Just fucking the collab nobody wants.
That's it right there. That's it right there. Ernie, Sheldon working together, hanging out. They meet in freshman year of college. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for everybody. All right. But before we get into all that, we should talk about this episode's sponsor, BetterHelp.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should, baby. That's what we're doing. We're talking.
I'm the riff guy. I was given no talking points.
Yeah.
You ping, I pong.
So BetterHelp has been a big part of my life for a long time, and I know it's been a big part of a lot of people's life. BetterHelp is the way that I found accessible therapy a couple of years ago when I was moving to LA, because I had a therapist in Boston, and then I was like, oh, I moved to LA to be out here with Dorothy and make content and all that. And I didn't really know how to find a therapist out here, to find somebody in network, out of network. That's where BetterHelp really helped me. So if you guys are ever looking for a therapist and you're like, oh man, I don't know, it's kind of hard. I have to interview with people. Do I do it in person? Do I do it over the internet? BetterHelp really for me has always filled that niche. Dan, you ever been to therapy?
No.
I
know, and that's shocking. Sarah keeps telling me I should.
That explains a lot about you. We're gonna be 1,000% real here.
Yeah.
So BetterHelp is fantastic because all you need to do is fill out a questionnaire. And after you fill out this questionnaire, most people are matched with a therapist within 48 hours. And the beauty of BetterHelp, outside of the fact of how easy it is to get connected with a therapist, is the accessibility of it all. So it's all internet-based. You can either, message, you can be on a phone call, you can be on a video call. Really, however you want to receive your therapy, you can get it. So if you wanted to be like, oh, hey, I'm on this podcast. And he's so handsome and funny, and I just have this inferiority complex. You could talk to them over, it's like, hey, you could type them like, hey, he's doing that thing where he rhymes a joke. And that was kind of my thing for a long time. And now I'm not feeling good about myself.
I thought you were like, yeah, you could be like, hey, I'm on this podcast. And your co-host will be like, hey, can you call your therapist when we're done recording?
Yeah.
Can you not do this right now?
No, we could phone him in. That'd be a great second opinion.
Yeah.
And the beauty of BetterHelp is because you have constant and consistent flow of stream of connection to your therapist. You can talk to them wherever and whenever you are.
Invite them onto your podcast.
Invite them onto your podcast. I mean, maybe clear that with them first, and that might break some HIPAA rules, but who knows? As long as they're cool with it and they're willing to risk their career, why not? Go off, Queen. Outside of that, if you guys are looking to connect with a therapist in a simple and easy way, do the questionnaire today and get connected with a therapist in under 48 hours. All you guys got to do is go to betterhelp.com/otakus. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/otakus to get a special discount off your first month of therapy. It's time we start feeling better. And unfortunately, me and Danny's sweet voices can only do so much for you.
That darn tootin'.
Yeah.
I mean, all hell.
We'll try harder.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Onto
the pod.
Onto Porco Rosso.
So it's kind of my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday. When this goes live, it'll be my birthday. I'm turning 28. This is my second birthday on the podcast.
Dab.
Second birthday on the podcast.
Do the gritty. It's scary when it's coming at you.
I know. Gritty's an imposing dance move.
We should make a bop it that's different meme dances. It's like
Renegade.
Dab.
You ready? Fuck the whole thing.
Whip it. Now, nay.
I'll do it. I'll do them all. He doesn't know. Danny hasn't known a dance move since 2016.
Do the Humpty dance.
Oh, the Humpty what now?
The Humpty dance. It's your chance. Do the Humpty dance.
I think.
You know that one?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't. Does Mamba number 5 have a dance? No. What's the left foot one stomp?
Oh, that's a ChaCha slide, baby.
Yeah, the ChaCha slide, baby. That's the one. Oh, we got it. We got it right here. White people all across the world are using it at weddings.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these are the only songs we know how to dance to, baby.
Dude, seeing the ChaCha slide happen as an adult is one of the scariest things you'll ever see.
It's a great representation of groupthink.
I was just gonna say, I was at a wedding. I was at my sister's wedding like a year ago. The ChaCha slide came on. A bunch of fucking white adults between the ages of 30 and 70 just got in form, did the ChaCha slide in unison, and I was like, I get how fascism happens.
Oh, absolutely.
I get it.
You get a charismatic guy just being like, take a step to the left. And you're like, oh. I'm liking the beat you're saying this over.
Everyone, like, at the end of the ChaCha slide, everybody's like, I was just following orders.
Yeah. You're like, all right, man. Didn't ask you to bust a sweat, uncle. Like, what are we doing here?
Left foot again. Right foot again. 40 times.
On the minority. like, hey, man, I'm sorry. The song said to do it. Fuck, that's a bit. It starts with the ChaCha slide. Load the gun.
World War II started with the ChaCha slide.
It just like
someone snuck it in.
Yeah, just Hitler being like, blame the Jews.
One Nazi's just like, what do you do when they say Charlie Brown? Are you doing? What do you when he says Charlie Brown? Wait, did he say blame the Jews?
We've been doing this for like 4 years. I don't know. Getting kind of tired at this point, actually.
But seriously, though, Nick. Seriously.
Yeah.
What do you do when they say Charlie Brown?
No, I don't do. I don't do a rodeo. Wait, I think you do a little.
That's the ChaCha.
Yeah, it's a little. No. Charlie Brown?
Because they go ChaCha now. Y'all.
Don't you do the like the. What's the Charlie Brown? What's the Charlie?
I'm asking you.
He's always doing a Christmas. He's a dance move at Christmas. Oh yeah, that's what he's doing. He's doing the dance move.
Break your neck.
Lobotomize your child.
I love the idea. It's like 1 hop this time. 1 hop this time. 30 hops this time. Mom!
Stop the bit. Oh, but yeah.
Put on the Macarena.
So me and Danny are obviously filming later than usual. We apologize for that. We missed each other very greatly. We just watched some anime together. We got burritos. I filmed. Danny did a little workout in my room. It got nice and sweaty for me. And we have a fair amount to talk about this week, actually. We obviously have the newest episode of My Hero Academia, which came out last Saturday. That would be the 16th. Nope, the 17th. The one where he finally arrives to the coffin in the sky to battle against Shigaraki. There was a new Elusive Samurai episode that was really weirdly good. Oshinoko just fucking put out a fantastic episode with one of the greatest openings of all time. The Rick and Morty anime came out.
Yeah, boy, did it kind of.
We watched Porco Rosso, and there's a ridiculous amount of anime and manga news.
Yeah.
Like a simply insane amount. There was a trailer that dropped for the Lord of the Rings anime. So much happened.
We watched summer's biggest anime, arguably Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
Yep. Which we'll get into in our Porco Rosso section. But first, I want to lead the show with Rick and Morty because I'm so excited to talk about it because I've never interfaced. All right. Madam Web.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa.
What do you, like, if you had to genuinely sit down and you said, what's worse? The first episode of the Rick and Morty anime,
Whoa.
Madam Web, The Box. Power rank those three.
What is the box? You're talking about the room.
The room.
You always call it the box.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the box. Yeah, your tie me up, tie me down got me focused on it.
Wow.
Power rank.
You're always speaking my language when you're speaking Madam Web.
Yep.
Madam Web's longer, but they're both like, who is this for?
Madam Web had moments where I was like, that was fun. That was fun right there. You know, like they're all like dancing on the diner table, like pretending to be 17-year-olds as 25-year-olds. Like it's just a bunch of football players, but like just a random diner, and then a car drives through.
There's the bit where the guy walks into a spider room and he goes, "Where is my spider?
My spider!
They've taken my spider!
They're gonna kill me. I'm gonna be murdered.
I'm going to be murdered." Then
No, I know it's true. They're going to murder me.
He goes into that restaurant and he's like, "This guy specifically needs to die."
just pieces up some dude who was just sitting there. Oh man,
the guy's just, why?
There's the unexplained spider natives. I'm gonna say. So, third place, Madam Web, because it's a masterpiece. Second place, The Room. First place, whatever the fuck we watched this week.
Whoa! So it's episode 1 of the Rick and Morty anime. It's for nobody.
It's awful.
It's really weird.
It's really fucking bad. Yeah. First off, it's the worst dub I've ever heard.
I watched it in sub.
Okay.
Because I was like, at first I was like, is it the same cast?
Nope.
And then they got to Jerry and it wasn't. And I was like, I can't watch this.
It's not only not the same cast. Like if they had done, like they had given Rick like Nanami's voice actor or something, like an English voice actor, like change it. But they didn't change it. First off, there's thousands of people out there who do fantastic Rick and Morty voices with 99 to 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
There's entire people who make entire careers based off the fact that they do the impersonation of Rick, Morty, Summer, all of them, 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Cast those people.
Right.
Because everybody they got for the dub sounds like it sounds like us doing our Trump impersonation. We're like, I have the biggest crowds. And it's like, it's not even close. We have the tenor down. We have the speech pattern down. But we don't have the fucking accent down.
Right, yeah.
And like all of the burps.
It's not like my George Lopez. Like,
No,
it's not
your George Lopez
on.
is spot on. Spot on. Like it's just like the burps are like not lined up. It's like none of it's good. It sounds like you told AI to replicate Rick and Morty and Summer and all of them. Like nobody sounds correct. The pacing of the line delivery is weird. The dub is, I kid you not, like high school fan project bad.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Wow.
Is the sub okay?
It's like...
At least they can't sound like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. So that helps, but at the same time, it's really weird because every now and then he'll do a burp, but he'll go like, ooh-ah, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? What was that? And it was like...
surely burps are the same in Japan, right?
It was like on the third one, I was like, oh, he's doing a Rick bit. He's doing a Rick impression. But speaking of doing Rick bits, this is the most, like... why would you watch this kind of show? Because it's not funny.
It's not funny at all.
They attempt funnies like a couple of times. Yeah, all right.
I said, this is like a bad fan-made project made from people who had an AI describe to them the concept of humor.
Yeah. They try to be funny, like a couple of times.
It's legitimately the least funny thing I've ever watched in my entire life.
It's really bad. There's a bit where the like bug people come in and they like break into Jerry's house and he's like, I thought I called a plumber, not pest control. And that's the actual unironic joke.
Yeah. And then there's just like weird tangent bits they're trying to run in. It's like, oh, the two bugs are arguing about like being in love or something when they're chasing Rick's like clone. And it's like, it's literally like they watched one episode of Rick and Morty and they're like, oh, simple. We got it. People just say quirky things.
Yeah.
And it's like, not even remotely. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you don't get the humor of Rick and Morty. It's meant for edgy 18 to 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I was one of those, which is why I watched the first 3 seasons religiously.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty is funny.
Yeah, I like Rick and Morty.
When it needs to be funny or when it needs to be serious, it accomplishes both of those things because fundamentally it is pretty well written. This is all like it's not funny at all.
Well, it's weird because like I didn't come into it as hot as you. I came into it where I was like, I kind of need a second episode because the only way I would have liked this is if they went a really melodramatic route.
Yeah.
Like I was like, Rick and Morty's already comedy and it's already drama.
And it's already animated.
This doesn't need to exist. The only way that this is a good idea is if they go real hard drama.
Yeah.
And that'd be funny. And they don't like, and the comedy's awful. Like
really
we said.
animate it up. Like fucking like punch up the animeism to a million.
Yeah, but they don't do any of that. It's just Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
It's so just Rick and Morty that they do the Roy bit. Like this episode is just the
where
Roy
they
bit.
create an incredibly realistic VR that Morty is in, and he gets snapped out of it at the end after living multiple lives.
Yeah.
But they don't do it as well as the Roy bit.
Well, but the only thing that separates this is that I think the girl is going to like leak out of it because she's in the intro. She's all over the intro.
Is she?
She's in so much of the intro. I was genuinely like, is that the girl he's in love with in the main? Like, I was like, is this a character I just don't recognize?
But can we also identify the fact that the storytelling of this episode is fucking utter nonsense?
Yeah, this episode felt like it was 3 hours long.
It's utter nonsense. I got 4 minutes in, I dropped it, and I was like, all right, I had it downloaded, so I watched it on the plane ride earlier today. The Roy bit that we're explaining is basically they're in some intergalactic arcade game, like intergalactic arcade, and in that arcade there's a like VR simulator where you live your entire life basically, and if you die you get like popped out of it, and you live like for 60 years inside this video game. There's not like, but like with this they tried to do a multiple storyline thing, but they didn't make any of them cohesive, and then like Morty's switching outfits all the time. He's like yellow Morty and then he's red Morty. They're getting eaten by the same fish. They're running it back. He's like, oh, Frank is here. He's like simultaneously befriending / love interesting this like older guy. And then there's the girl who travels through time and they're doing the same things together. Morty gets old, Morty gets fat, and then Frank finds him and he's a power suit. He's not in a power suit. Like there's no, you can do simultaneous branching million things very easily, but they were just like kept forwarding, rewinding, different timeline, all that kind of thing. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was like, towards the end, I started to get a little into it because it's like everything everywhere all at once. Like I was able to keep up with like the timelines and what they were doing. But it was like, again, I was like, we've just done this. Like we've done this like 6 other times in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
The like, oh, Morty lives a whole full life in VR and then gets ripped out of it and then he's sad.
Or like it doesn't. It's not even VR sometimes. Sometimes like when he gets his like he becomes super confident and he gets with Jessica.
Yeah.
And then like he has to like snap out of it for Rick. Like they've done it to him so many times.
Yeah.
Like why are we just rehashing this in a worse capacity?
I know, it's really weird. I do think the girl in the VR world, she becomes like a main character.
Yeah.
She's all over the intro. And then it's like Summer is in it a lot, but she's not funny. She's not doing anything.
The lines are so they're just like, it's like humor is about like delivery and what you say. She's just kind of saying words, but like punching up at the end, like you know, like when like a bad comedian will just like mog at the end of whatever they say. They're like, and like to get like people to laugh, right? They'll be like, you know, do your George Lopez joke and then mog at the end of it.
Like Ernie. I accidentally did it.
Oh no! I'm getting you closer. We're walking to the edge. And then you mog, and then you mog. He's got no water in there. And so this is just like Summer being like, where's Morty?
Yeah.
Like it's like a sitcom. It's like a guy walks into a sitcom like living room, but without the comedic punchline.
It's a bazinga.
It is a bazinga, but like without the like setup of a bazinga, right?
Yeah.
It's so bad. Can we also talk about the fact that the art style is atrocious?
Oh my God, I forgot about this because it does fix itself later on. The first 5 minutes aren't animated. The first like 5 minutes of the show are the most aggressive slideshow I've ever seen. There's like no animation.
I didn't even notice at all.
It's like 5 minutes is being like
Surely
extreme,
there's
but, like,
very little budget in the show, mind you, because the dub cast is awful and it doesn't look good.
it's very like Mob Psycho without like when Mob Psycho is not doing a crazy action scene. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but it's not even like
it's like, do you know that? Remember that anime? It was all over Adult Swim growing up, and it looks like somebody like drew every character without picking their pen up, and it's about a little boy in like a red shirt, and he looks like a weird little like. Hold on, I'll show you.
we're talking about fucking what is it? The thing you're obsessed with, and Stank was like, it's getting a second season.
Zatch Bell? No, I am not. Hold on.
Little boy in red shirt is just gonna feed you Pokemon.
Red little boy red shirt. Let's see. Please give it to me. I got it immediately.
Really?
It's like this.
Oh, you're talking what is that? What there's absolutely a name for it. It's one of the
Shinchan.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous anime of all time. Yeah.
I hate what this looks like.
Well, yeah, but
And
that's
this
at
is
least
it.
funny. Shinchan, yeah, they see it. They know it. All they need to know is that you want to hear Shinchan. You got it. Yeah. It is a very iconic, like you see, it's the kind of thing you see everywhere.
like a
Brian,
weird-
actually, my tattoo artist, does a lot of art of Shinchan.
It's so weird. It's like a sitcom, kind of. This is like the epitome of Adult Swim, Shinchan. Like, this is
I guess kind of, yeah.
Swim ass anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like weird, and you're like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I'll watch it. What the hell? Like, why not, I guess. This is awful. I'm not kidding. This could be the first AI generated TV show.
Yeah.
Like, you know how when Wish came out, everyone was like, this is AI generated? I genuinely think this was AI generated.
It's weird. It reminds me weirdly of like Trigun, in that like Rick is in like a desert planet for a bit, and his hairstyle, I was like, so it's like bad Trigun.
You've now compared the anime that we both hailed, where we're just like, oh, this is the worst thing we ever said, to Trigun and Mob Psycho.
Just in terms of like visual vibe.
Yeah.
Not visual look. It doesn't look like Trigun, but just seeing Rick in the desert looking the way he does, I was like, and it's just like embarrassing. Like,
because like, all right. First off, guess the rating on IMDb. First episode, rating on IMDb. Guess it.
is it over or under 5?
Well, that's
Whoa.
cheating.
Is it?
I mean, it's hey, you want a 50% chance of getting closer?
I don't know if this is going to be like a blindside where you're like 9.2.
That would be nuts.
What is it? 3?
2.9.
Wow.
Yeah, you're really
Wow.
close. You said 9.2 too. So yeah, it's
Crazy.
2.9. 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. So critics have no fucking clue what they're talking about per usual. This is weird because Max has the money, and why wouldn't you put money into an IP as large as Rick and Morty?
It's so strange. Well, like I said, it's like, why watch this when you could watch regular Rick and Morty, which is better animated, funnier, better drama,
Solar opposites.
Solar Opposites. And I know it's only the first episode, but
Yeah.
like, compare this to the first episode of Rick and Morty, and it's
Compare this
night
to the
and
first
day.
episode of anything. Like literally anything. It's the worst 25 minutes I've ever had to endure outside of Porco Rosso.
Why would you watch this when you could watch Bluey?
Why would you listen to this podcast when you could listen to the Bluey podcast?
Yeah.
These are the questions we have perpetually.
Yeah.
Man, it was a bad week for anime. It was a bad fucking week for
You
anime.
were so hateful this
Dude,
week.
Porco Rosso was really fucking bad.
All right, first off,
Yeah.
I'll also continue to call it Porco Rosso.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it's called Porco Rosso.
It's Porco Rosso.
It's just not. It's Rosso.
Rue.
Rosso.
As in
They call him Porco Rosso.
Sakura Hakura. Listen.
That's this pod.
Yeah, we're going to say things the way we want to say them. That's the way it works. And if you're going to get upset about Porco Rosso, the worst thing Hayao Miyazaki's ever done, I genuinely can't help you.
So I have 2 notes for you. One was that it's pronounced Porco Rosso. 2 is fuck you, I love this movie. It's better than anything we've watched yet.
Oh God, how?
I loved this movie. I can't believe you hated it. What is there to hate?
What did you like?
What is there to hate?
What did you like?
He's so good to look at.
Did you
love
did you watch
looking
the
at
dub?
him. Yes.
A terrible dub.
It's Michael Keaton. Isn't that crazy? Because he is bad in it.
He's awful
Michael
in it.
Keaton.
Like, it's like the worst, like in a big budget. First off, this is the worst looking Hayao Miyazaki film by a fucking Texas mile.
Totoro looks awful.
Totoro is fun.
This is so fun.
It's hardly.
He's a big pig. Anytime he's on screen, I'm happy.
They barely touch the pig thing.
He's cursed.
From what?
I wish it was touched on less. I wish he was inexplicably a pig.
All they explain about the pig thing is that he's cursed and that he scribbles out his face whenever he sees it. They try to make me give a shit about the wife. They barely introduce how they met, what they like, why they're together. She's just like, oh, this is the 3rd pilot I've married. She runs a bar or something. There's an American who's just like kind of slapped on as the bad guy. They're like, oh, he wants to shoot Porco Rosso out of the sky. And so he's just flying around, and then he just goes to Milan for like 20 fucking minutes and gets his plane fixed. And they're like, Michael Keaton just sits there and mogs all these women. He's like, oh, you got any men helping you in this family as they just fix the shit out of his fucky ass plane.
You don't like the little dude that helps him out? Fucking cat bus turned into a person?
The mustachioed cat bus little Italian SPA.
I can't believe. Also, Nick didn't finish the movie, which is crazy. I watched 2 movies.
I tried
for this
3 times to watch it, and every time I fell asleep.
I can't believe you hated this one, and you are fine with Kiki's.
Kiki's is better.
You're insane.
Listen, neither of these are about anything. Kiki's is at least cute.
This is like if a movie starred Totoro. Anytime he's just standing there smoking a little cigarette,
he doesn't do it for me.
Delighted.
I'm taken out of the fact because every time I listen to it, it's Michael Keaton going, do you have any boys that are in your family? He's so bad. He's so fucking bad at it.
He's really not good.
It's like first off, like the dub barely match it. It doesn't match the energy of the show or the movie. It doesn't match the energy of the character. It's not conveyed well. It's like the pacing is weird. His deliveries are awful. Like it just took me out.
Everybody in a dub of a Hayao Miyazaki movie, and don't come at me about Boy and the Heron. We're obviously talking about like heyday Miyazaki, like Spirited Away and before. Everyone in the dub of those movies sound like they're fighting against NyQuil. Sounds like they all took Quaaludes.
No, okay, I will. The problem with this movie specifically is that the main character is getting outacted by everyone around him.
That's fair.
Because the voice acting from everybody else is really good, and then he opens his mouth, and I'm like, you sound fucking terrible. Like, he sounds like the little Italian dude's incredible. His wife is a wildly talented
They're not
actress.
married, but
whatever.
Well, it's kind of the plot of the movie. He's trying to get her back.
He goes to Milan.
Yeah.
He fights an American for no goddamn reason so he can be misogynist in Italy.
Yeah, he's really sexist.
He's super sexist.
He's like, what do you got all these dames working on this plane for?
And then like the little Italian's like, don't touch my 17-year-old daughter. And he's like, what?
He's like, I will.
He's like, I won't. She seems like too much effort. And I was like, that's the issue, Mr. Big Human. Oh my God,
Dude,
it's awful.
I just love him. I love just seeing him. Daniel was over and we were watching it, and I just like intermittently would like crack up like a dad watching Seinfeld. And he'd be like, what? And I'm like, just look at him. I just get a kick out of him.
He's got a little hat on. He's got a collar pop.
Got this awful hair.
Yep.
He's a fucking Italian heartthrob.
He does
somehow.
have awful hair. He's got stupid fucking hair.
He's got a terrible haircut. Even if he weren't a pig, he'd have a bad haircut. It's
Also,
shaved
everyone's
in
way
the back.
too cool about him being a pig.
He's like constantly passing like whole planes full of women.
Yeah.
Stuffed with women.
Yeah.
Stuffed to the gills with women.
And everyone's like, oh, this is sea pirate territory. Stop going to sea pirate territory. They're like, don't worry. We put fighter ships on the ship here to fight against the sea pirates. They get smoked.
Yeah, but they love him. All the women love him. He's an Italian heartthrob.
Yeah.
He's a spicy hot sausage.
But like, what? Why? Like, what is the purpose of this movie? Like, what's the core theme of this fucking movie?
Men are pigs. Look, I really don't think Hayao Miyazaki's that good of a writer.
I'm gonna be real. I'm coming around on that take. Listen. If you sit down and you watch all of Hayao Miyazaki's films, he doesn't have a super high hit rate. He objectively doesn't.
If you're like, what's the point of Totoro? It's nothing. The point of any of them is nothing.
Mononoke is Spirited Away,
Castle in the Sky
are about things.
Yeah.
Nausicaa, about things.
Yeah.
Kiki's, Totoro's, whatever the fuck this was.
This is
I don't know how his career survived back-to-back Kiki's and this.
This is like a classic, like chauvinistic Han Solo-esque character reclaiming his honor. Like, it's very much a basic pulpy Indiana Jones kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where there's even a line where he's like, sorry, babe, gotta fly.
Pig's gotta fly. Wife is on the phone like, please come home.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, babe, pig's gotta fly.
Yeah.
I X out of the movie.
That's what the movie's about.
I X'd out of the movie. That line, I literally am on a ferry to go to Nantucket with all my friends. I'm watching it. I'm like hanging out with all these people who love me. And I just hear pigs gotta fly. And I'm like, I'm done.
Dude,
like,
you're asking me what the movie's about? That's what the movie's about.
A pig flying. It's when pigs fly brought to the nth degree.
Hayao Miyazaki was like, what if a pig flew?
Yeah, and they're just like, fuck it. Let's make 90 minutes of nonsense. It's mercifully short as well.
Yeah, I will give you this. This movie, I did watch it to its entirety. It felt like 3 hours.
Nothing happens. Nothing. It's literally, he gets in a dogfight in the beginning. He then 20 minutes of needless, worthless exposition, gets in a 30-second fight with the American, engine stalls, goes to Milan for 4.5 business days, meets every woman in Italy, and then that's when I dropped out.
Dude, he's just a pig in Italy. What's to dislike?
So much.
He's awesome. He's just rotund.
He stands like Frank. He stands like Frank.
And the last bit, I can't believe you missed the last bit because it's just a slug out. It's a slugfest because both of their planes run out of bullets and they're just punching each other. It's a good old-fashioned pig on dude slugfest.
Pig on American, and the pig prevails.
Dude, it's so slow. It's frustratingly slow.
Yeah.
Because they keep doing a big wind up, and then the punches come, and you see it a mile away, and you're like, he's gonna dodge it.
Yeah.
He's gonna block it, and he just takes it, and you're like, put up your fucking hooves,
Put up
Porco.
your dukes, Porco. Figure it out.
Fucking block him. I'm literally like my mom watching a WWE match. I got chips all over me, a beer in my hand. I'm like, fucking hit him, Porco.
I got money. I got the house riding on Porco here.
Put up your fucking hands, Porco.
Jesus Christ. Step into the punch. Be legitimately real.
Yeah.
Where does it fall?
It's probably not better. I was with Daniel. I did the ranking. I went Nausicaa, this. Castle in the Sky.
You're fucking insane, Danny.
Daniel talked me out of it because Daniel was like, the boy in Castle in the Sky is so good.
Yep.
And I did
Good
really
bad guy,
like
convincing bad guy. They're just like, it's better world building.
Honestly, if Castle in the Sky's main girl was like as good as Nausicaa, as good as Ashitaka, it'd genuinely be one of his best movies. Yeah. The girl's what brings it down. So it's probably Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, Porco Rosso, Totoro, Kiki's.
Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, Totoro, Kiki's.
You're insane.
It's worse than Kiki's Delivery Service by a landslide.
You're insane.
I'd watch Kiki's Delivery in English, then in Japanese, back to back it, double feature before I watch this once.
You know when you do like Not that either of us like do food challenges or anything.
God, we should though.
I know. We got to do the Big Mama,
We
Big
gotta do the
Papa's
Big Mama's pizza. That's what we gotta do.
you know
We know
what-
enough people in LA now that we can do it.
You know, that's so true.
But they're all influencers.
AnimeIRL. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I don't know how would we. What anime?
Like Food Wars.
But there's no like mukbang pizza part of Food Wars.
They eat food. We should do a food challenge.
We could. It could happen. It's not a bad idea.
If we make it a ramen challenge, then it works. It's enough.
We can do it. It's thin, but we can do it.
But you know, when you're like,
Ichiraka ramen bowls. You're right. Trying to eat
Naruto,
trying to eat as many bowls as Hinata or Naruto
Or Goku.
It's genius.
Yeah.
We can do it. Yep.
that's so smart. Anyway, you know, okay. Oh wait,
No, keep going.
I need your full attention.
Okay.
Already, I just threw up.
I don't feel so good.
Anyway, you know when you're doing a challenge.
I actually puked last night, so I'll be right there with you, brother.
Kiki is great. You're out of your mind, the last sane. You're insane.
Kiki's is good. It's fine. It's
bad.
It's so serviceable.
Bad.
Honestly, Hayao Miyazaki.
ready?
Hayao Miyazaki should have secured funding after backing back Kiki's and this, though.
You know when you're like, you know what, dude, I'm so hungry. I'm going to buy a bunch of food from my favorite restaurant, and you get a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to eat all of this
We
right
get two
now.
appetizers, an entree, and dessert.
Yeah, ton of shit. And then you get like halfway through and you hit an actual wall.
Yeah.
Like you're just like,
You're like Billy.
I-
You're like Billy. You ever like Billy and Mandy? Do you ever remember him like getting so full the food was like up here and he had like a
Can't
turkey?
get it
Yeah, he's
in.
like trying to gag it in.
yeah. It's like Kiki's delivery service. Every time I watch it, I'm like, you know, this is fun. This is a good time. This is moving at a good pace. Every time she gets Gigi back, my body has the same reaction as if I just had 6 calzones.
You're just like, oh, there's still 35 minutes left.
I'm like, oh, fuck. We haven't even met the girl in the cabin.
Yep.
It's impossible. I can't watch it a third time. I'll never watch it a third time.
That's genuinely very fair.
I love Tombo. He's the best boy.
I'll never see the end of this movie.
You're insane.
I'll never see the end.
It's so good.
It's not good.
Such a good pig when they're fucking eating a bunch of spaghetti.
Yep.
They eat a bunch of spaghetti and then they're getting out of the ravine. That's so tense.
Yep.
And then there's a big fist fight at the end and she fucking kisses a little pig snout.
It's just like a 1940s black and white film. It's like fucking Casablanca.
Yeah.
But like animated poorly. It's just not as pretty. It's not as pretty as.
It's prettier than Kiki's.
No.
It's prettier than Totoro.
Don't eat. It is not even. It doesn't touch Kiki's.
You're insane.
Kiki's is literally just a girl flying over beautiful Italian landscapes.
This literally takes place in Italy, my guy.
Yeah, but it's either over the ocean or in a fucking hangar that's getting blown apart by a jet engine.
You're insane.
I'm not insane.
Ugh. You know what's the worst part of this? You didn't finish the movie, and I watched a second fucking movie.
Yeah, you did.
For this stupid bit. I forgot I wasn't going to tell you I watched Porco Rosso. So I was about to watch Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
And I accidentally typed in Porky instead of Porco.
He typed in Porki, so not even close.
Close.
Yeah, 3 letters.
1 letter off.
2.
What?
Porki.
Yeah. Yeah.
You missed the C and the O.
How do you spell Porco Rosso?
Porco, Porco.
C?
Yes.
I meant to do KO.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I type in Porky, the first thing that comes up on HBO Max is a movie called Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
From like 1973. NC-17.
NC-17,
Yep.
which is a rating above R.
It just means you'll see penetration.
And so I texted Nick and I was like, can I watch this instead of Porco Rosso?
Yep.
And I'm like half an hour into Porco Rosso. And Nick texts me, please do it. It'd be such a funny bit.
It would be a funny bit.
And so I'm on the couch in my living room.
Yep.
And my roommate John, his family is over. They're visiting. I'm watching fucking Pig Indiana Jones.
You're watching, and then it's like, never mind, porn time.
I'm like,
Hentai on the big TV.
I was like, I guess I should switch gears, and I put on Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, and I'm fucking sweating so hard I have to like white knuckle the remote with my finger over the pause and turn off button.
Yeah.
Every time his mom walks
Every time you hear
through.
footsteps coming down, you're like zipping your pants up and hiding the toilet paper. Yeah.
It's literally
Knock!
like it's literally like that where I'm just like fucking sweating it out. I watched it.
Yeah.
It's in Spanish.
Oh no! Why is the title in English?
It's entirely in Spanish. It stars what's his name? Who plays Puss in Boots?
Oh fuck!
It stars.
Wait, what?
It stars Benicio del Toro. No,
It's Benicio del Toro.
no. What's his name? Who plays Puss in Boots? It stars George Lopez. That's it.
There we go. Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, it's Antonio Banderas, and it's fucking insane.
What do you mean?
Well, Max tells you it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
You want to know what it's about? Here, I'll read you the summary.
Is it about being tied up or tied down?
Boy,
Is it? Yo, a young Antonio Banderas, I feel like he would be kind of hot, low key.
You'd think.
Is he not? Is he
It's
not?
about newly released from a mental institution.
Oh.
Ricky, Antonio Banderas, heads straight for a reunion with the love of his life, B-movie actress Marina. The trouble is, Marina doesn't remember him or the fling they had during her years as a junkie and porn star. Determined to make Marina love him, Ricky barges into her apartment and ties her up. With a captive audience, Ricky is sure it's only a matter of time before his beloved returns his affection. So, for a quicker summary, he is a mental asylum patient who breaks into this woman's house, who doesn't remember he exists, batters the shit out of her, and then ties her up and is like, listen, we're going to get to know each other. You're going to remember me, and I'm going to fucking kill you and then kill myself if you don't fall in love with me. And this is a romantic comedy.
Like
starring Puss in Boots.
But like, it's a thriller, right?
Yeah, there's no jokes.
Okay.
He breaks into her house. Like, he shows up on the set of her work. She's like on a porn film.
Yeah.
Shows up on set of her work. He's like, remember me? She's like, sorry, I don't. Then he shows up at her apartment. She's trying to close the door. He like gets his arm in, grabs her by the neck, and she starts fighting. Then he headbutts her until she passes out. Then she has a headache, obviously.
Yeah, because he just fucking cracked their skulls together.
But
had a mind meld.
But like regular painkillers don't work on her because she's an ex-junkie and she's used to the harder stuff.
Yeah.
And so she has this raging migraine and she's like, please, let me go see my doctor, who's this like fucking like at home ass, like, fucking, like Michael Jackson ass doctor.
Yeah.
She's like, let me go see my doctor. And he's like, all right, fine. And he handcuffs them together. And he's like, but if you try anything funny, I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to kill me. And he like puts a knife to her throat. Ha ha ha. And then he takes her to the doctor and she has to get the good shit. And then he's like, the doctor's like, oh, my babies are crying. Let me go watch them. And he's like, no, I'll take care of them. He goes up. He's holding the kids. He's got them both in a fucking rear naked chokehold. Threatening her.
All while handcuffed to a woman?
He uncuffs her.
Okay, I was gonna say.
And then he's like, the doctor's like, is anything wrong, Marina? And he's like, yeah, anything wrong, Marina? I'll fucking kill everybody in this room. And she's like, no.
I'm liking him already.
Yeah. Long story short, she does end up falling in love with him and they have a family together.
It works.
It just works.
Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, get out there and take the things that you want.
Fellas, it just works.
It just works. Listen, actually, if our grandmother's stories have taught us anything, it's just like one day he showed up in my life and he I was 13, he was 18, and he just pestered my dad until he let me marry him.
Yeah, one day he showed up at the train station and then that was every day. Yeah. And he wouldn't leave me alone.
Yup, and he would yell at me my whole walk to work, and I couldn't quit the job. I needed it a lot, so...
Yeah. He threw eggs at me. He just threw eggs at me, and it worked.
Didn't say a singular word, and eventually I just figured if I married him, it stopped. He still throws eggs at me.
You want to know why it's NC-17?
Why?
There's a scene where she's in the bathtub, and she has a little scuba diver toy. It's like one of these bath toys of a little scuba diver, and his little feet kick. And you see it, and it's doing its little scuba, and it's going and it's going, and you're like, where are you off to, little fella? Where are you going? And where he's going is the fucking densest, thickest coral reef of a puss you've ever seen in your life. It's just a real 70s ass. Like,
So they bombed the marketing of their own movie so they could do an individual scene where she shoves a swimming scuba toy in her snatch. That's it. That is literally just one full labia scene.
and like it's just going and then it gets like lodged in there. And it's silly because its head goes in there. Ladies, has this ever happened to you?
Yeah, you might deserve compensation. Has a scuba diver ever non-consensually swam into your pussy?
Full grown man.
Yeah,
Whoops.
Whoopsie! Oh God, it's cavernous in here. Echo.
Anyway.
Got it.
But the head of the scuba man is what's in the
You can say it. You can say vagina.
vagine.
Yeah.
Blue. It's the head is there, and the feet are kicking.
Yep.
And I'm like, as a woman, I feel like I'd want the feet doing some work.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd want to turn them around.
It'd be harder to get in there, though.
But the head's not doing anything. It's just staying there.
I mean, was the intention for her to fucking...
She's masturbating with it.
She's masturbating with the scuba toy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I guess maybe. Kind of, right? But, like, flippers aren't that's not a good shape. That's not a good
They're
shape.
not intended to be masturbated
None,
with.
no part of it is intended to go...
It's not intended to be
to
for a
be
scuba
rose toy.
Yeah.
Wow. That is... Was it better than Porco Rosso?
I don't know. I was pretty engaged.
It
I
sounds
was never bored.
like a lot of fun, actually.
Antonio Banderas
Yes.
was on such a weird stint of very problematic movies back in the day. He also did one, have you heard of this, where this guy, like, assaults his daughter. He, like, I think sexually assaults his daughter and maybe kills her. And then Antonio Banderas...
And then they have a family and they have kids. And they're like, hey, it works, guys. Yeah.
And then Antonio Banderas, actually crazier than that. He kidnaps the guy.
Okay.
And then performs, like, genital surgery on him.
Like gender reassignment surgery on the dude?
Turns the dude into a woman anatomically as, like, revenge to be like, now you'll see how hard it is to be a woman. He was on such a weird run of movies. It's like kind of a famous movie.
Does he fuck the lady afterwards?
I don't know, but honestly, that's not a bad question considering the movie I just watched.
That seems like Antonio Banderas' move.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's kind of a famous movie.
Yeah.
They made us watch. I didn't see it. I wasn't in class that day, but they made us watch it in film school.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like that in Clockwork Orange. And they're like, no, the rape scene's necessary.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I ever told you the story of I have a friend that I actually just recently saw over in New Hampshire.
I hate where this is headed.
And
considering where the conversation
we
was.
were absolutely baked. It's me, him, and another one of our friends. And we're just sitting in his room, just chiefing down weed. It's like, guys, I have a great movie for us to watch. And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it, man. I love smoking weed and watching like silly little comedies. So we'll put on like the
Hot Rod.
Yeah, we'll put on like Hot Rod or like Family Guy or something. You know, we'll just like giggle to ourselves. And he's like, we're going to watch Clockwork Orange. And I was like, okay, never seen it before. Immediately just starts tripping me the fuck out. And then there's a whole scene in Clockwork Orange where, well, first off, Clockwork Orange opens on a fucking still shot of an eye being pried open as they like force somebody to watch TV. And then there is a long 3 to 4 minute scene of a woman just being sexually assaulted on a stage by like 6 or 7 men. Wow. And I'm just sitting there and this guy's like, nah, you don't understand. This is a masterpiece. And I was like, hey man, I kind of wanted to giggle. And I'm now being confronted with like the existentialism of like human cruelty.
Yeah.
So I'd like to not do this right now.
No, you don't understand. This is a masterpiece. You don't understand? I'm not in the mood for a masterpiece.
You don't understand? I want to see reruns of Family Guy right now, actually.
I want to see Chris Griffin do a silly little dance.
I want to see him be the most Seth Green human being that's ever existed.
That's so funny. But yeah, tie me up, tie me down. Not boring, I'll say.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I can't believe I did extra homework for a podcast I usually don't come prepared for.
Well, that's why we gave you the extra time. Should we talk about My Hero?
Yeah. It's one of those episodes where like technically stuff happened, but I feel like nothing happened.
Well, like stuff kind of happened.
What happened?
Well, there was
He
like
punches Shigaraki really hard.
that's kind of it.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. And then now Shigaraki's gonna do another
When
thing.
I look back at it, I'm like, how was that 20 minutes?
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of backstory. Or it's a lot of flashbacks that we've already seen. My Hero is getting like, I wonder if they're just like fighting against the fact that it has to be 24 episodes. Because My Hero,
It doesn't. It's gonna be 21.
or in the 20s.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of anime now are 12.
The manga's done. They can adapt whatever the fuck they want.
No, but I mean, I wonder if the studio's like, no, we want 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Because this has the same issue that Naruto does, where you're just getting fucking bombarded with clips you've already seen.
I feel like MHA, and this might have changed this most recent season because I haven't been paying attention like that closely. MHA is almost always, to me, like a one-to-one manga reenactment in anime. I find.
Maybe the manga's like that then, too.
I feel like it kind of is, but this chapter, yeah, it's like Deku just like kind of like snags the B2 bomber, and then he like the Americans like, oh, we shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Deku's like flying like 1,000 miles an hour. Like, yeah, no, I can hear you, just like fucking just getting whipped.
Yeah.
And then he like nukes into the flying coffin. He sees that Bakugo is dead. And he like has like a rage moment, which is really, really cool. There is some really, I'd say this is the most well animated fight we've seen in a couple of seasons, though.
I don't even remember.
There's like a big old,
Oh, I
there's like a big
forgot.
old
Yeah,
punch that
Deku-
like melts rock and all that. They do like the classic MHA like bubble of green and blue punch.
I think the one where Clam Hands shoots
Yeah.
a big laser and then what's his name? Bakugo like gives him the burn scar.
Yeah.
I remember that specifically
That was
being
like 2
very
or 3
well.
episodes ago.
That was real. This is the best animated season in
Yeah.
like the past couple seasons.
It
for
is.
sure.
They've actually like objectively watching it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even like I am excited for MHA to like look good and all that. MHA is in this weird spot right now where like a lot of people don't like how the manga ended, and a lot of people like really love how the manga ended. I like how the manga ended, but because of that, I feel like it's like kind of like parlaying into like the anime losing its hype, but like. So I'm excited that MHA's what is like going to be second to last, their final season looks really good, but at the same time, I'm like, ooh. Bones might be ready for Gachikuchi.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
like fucking Gachikuchi might actually look okay.
Fucking I keep wanting to call him Incineroar, but I know that's not his name. Endeavor.
Okay. Not inaccurate.
Do you know who Incineroar is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And Incineroar is the best, one of the best Smash Pokemon of all time.
They look so similar.
They really do.
But
Who would Deku be? Krogunk? Right? Like, would Deku be Krogunk?
that's so funny. That's such a weird pull. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Fuck, I did it. No, you know what I did? Very briefly, I did a little TikTok series where I was like, if anime characters were Pokemon,
Yeah.
who would they evolve into?
Who would they evolve into?
And it was like, I'll never find these TikToks, but it was like Deku evolves into the green-haired dude from Zom 100, who evolves into Joe from Skate the Infinity.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Gotcha.
It's
so
like that.
Deku's the starter Pokemon, and then
Yeah.
the green-haired dude, the comedian,
Yeah, the comedian.
and then into Joe from Skate the Infinity.
Yeah.
That's a good
Let
one.
me see if I can find it.
That's a
But
really
yeah.
good one.
But yeah, I like the idea of like what Pokemon. I might steal that if you don't do it.
What?
For like a TikTok series, like what Pokemon are
Like what
anime
character
characters.
is a
Yeah.
certain arms race?
Arms race?
Arms race.
Yeah, who gets it first?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be better at this. That Krogunk pull is exquisite.
Thank you. Because it's just like almost exclusively the Black Whip makes me feel that way, but also just like general who he is. Oh, they also revealed Gear Shift.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Deku turns into a car this episode.
There was a big controversy when this manga chapter dropped.
Because it's dumb.
Well, you don't like it?
It's just him getting more fucking random ass powers out of nowhere. That's the whole season.
Gear Shift is a really cool ability. I hate the because you have one for or all for one, it's now been augmented. The meta ability's been augmented in your body. It used to only work on small objects, but now it works on every cell in your body.
And then he just knows it all of a sudden. Like
so Gear Shift, Fajin is the second user's meta ability. Gear Shift, Smoke, Float, Fajin, Danger Sense, you kind of see him learn. And then so it's like 4 out of the 7 meta abilities, he just learns. Yeah. He just learns and you're like, okay, cool. Like Danger Sense, Black Whip, you kind of see him learn. And then the rest, he just gets. Smoke, you a little bit see, like when he's fighting, he's like releasing too much smoke kind of thing. The rest, fucking nothing.
Look, I'm enjoying this season because it's just the Shibuya incident of My Hero.
It's a war arc, yeah.
It's cool that we're in a time where like it feels like every anime is in a war arc right now. Like I'm gonna throw up.
Dude, that's what you get for getting
such a burrito.
You had such a big breakfast burrito. It was a big first bite.
Oh, I should have eaten half.
Yep.
But in My Hero, Demon Slayer, JJK, like they're all in this like fucking war arc right now. And I am enjoying it because
all of them are coming to an end.
Yeah, exactly. And I am enjoying it, but I think the writing might be genuinely terrible.
I don't think there's ever been a war arc where I've been like, oh, we're crushing it. Even with JJK right now, there's huge. So JJK just released some, and this was going to be my news, but I guess I'll talk about it now. JJK released a statement, or Gegekatami released a statement. There's 5 more chapters of JJK.
That's crazy.
So as of the release of the leaks, so the leaks came out yesterday, which was Wednesday.
Stop saying releasal. You always say releasal.
Release.
It doesn't need more
I
letters.
like more.
Okay.
I do more. It makes me sound smarter.
It doesn't. It's
more
the problem.
smarter.
That's why I'm helping.
Knuckles, you're not as dumb as we give you credit for. Miam?
I love that show.
It's so goddamn funny. Good. It does not. You know what? Fuck Hayao Miyazaki. We're doing Sonic Adventures for the rest of the season here. What was I gonna say?
JJK 5.
Oh, there's 5 chapters left in JJK. And the entirety of the JJK fandom is kind of like,
how?
Well, that and like, they're like, Gegekatami may be a bad writer. Like, there's like a big shift right now of everyone being like, is JJK not that good? Like, all right, it's not that. It's like everyone, I'm hyperbolizing. Everyone acknowledges the fact that JJK is incredibly good, but the Gegekatami's world building is like heavy under fire right now because he introduces like a million concepts, and with the idea of the manga ending in like now 4 chapters, none of them are going to get touched on. Like the world building, like the elders and like how the Jujutsu society is like governed is never going to get established. Like a bunch of characters aren't going to get the time that they needed in the sun. Like a lot of the accusations, ironically, that the writer of MHA Horikoshi was getting, and then like kind of beat with his own war arc because like a lot of the side characters get brought back in over the course of like what will be the end of this season, and we see a lot of people we love interact in this huge final battle. That did not happen for JJK. Like it kind of did. Like you see a couple of like key people step back in, but like so many concepts that were introduced, like they do like so far. You know how Panda exists, Panda and JJK. Like they introduce this concept of like the cursed corpse, and then they're like, you need 3 souls to coexist in here, and like that's why he turns into like his 8 mode kind of thing. And then they just never do anything with that. And like, you made this bit of lore about shoving 3 souls in a vessel to establish an id, superego, and ego, and then they're like, all we're gonna do with that is make Panda.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why he's done. Maybe he just has another project he's excited about?
Maybe, because there's like, here's the thing, it's the #1 manga on Earth. It's been the #1 manga on Earth for 2 straight years. Every editor in the history of manga is always going to say, extend your story.
Yeah.
The battle's coming to an end, but like, even like, this sounds absurd, because objectively it is. There's been a big final battle that's been going on for a little over a year, and it now feels like we're rushing towards the end of it.
Do you think he's gonna be like Yuji will die or something, or some big thing will happen, and then he's like, JJK 2?
JJK 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Like Chainsaw Man 2, you know?
Well, that's part 2.
Well, but like, you know. Like, do you think he's like, now's Yuta the manga or whatever? Like, you know, some more relevant
absolutely see a JJK spinoff. I think he would be dumb to not capitalize on it.
Unless he's just bored of it, like he's just done.
I don't know if he is.
Yeah.
I think he enjoys writing it. He's kind of sickly though, is the thing. So like he missed like a bunch of chapters in a row. I think he's like now he's put like 3 chapters out. Like I think back to back weeks he's put a chapter out, which is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
And so I think he's like trying to get the manga done.
Yeah.
And then after that, there might be like a couple of months where he takes off, and then like we get like JJK2, Electric Boogaloo. I don't know, but I can't imagine. He wouldn't. I can't imagine there wouldn't be an immense amount of pressure on him to do exactly that.
I can't believe I was under such fire for saying JJK is not well written, and now the masses are gonna forget me in the ashes of their hate.
Yeah. But it's not that like, oh, the characters aren't well written, because the characters are well written, and like the plot itself is well written. The power to system is cool. Like I think JJK is a very good story, and I just think like not every story needs exceptional world building. Like sometimes like Demon Slayer doesn't have exceptional world building. It's a very linear story that's like built barely out of like the confines. Like technically during the Taisho period, guns exist. Genya barely uses them. Like we're talking about like there's so many consequences that could be applied from like other parts of the world or demons, places that aren't in Japan. You could build out
technically World War I is happening.
The Taisho period?
It's like 1917.
Yeah, it's like like there's like a lot like that could be built out upon. And you kind of get better world building out with all like the split off stories about like Rengoku and all that. But like not every story needs fantastic world building. Like usually you see like isekai and stories that are trying to build an entire universe. The thing is with JJK is for a long time, everyone was like, oh, Gege's world building is better than X, Y, and Z. And now that the story's coming to a close and we have like 8 billion questions left, everyone's like, okay, maybe it's not as good as we thought. So like for him, it's not making JJK worse. It's just that everybody hyped up an aspect of his writing style that apparently isn't as good as they thought.
Yeah. Well, they just thought I guess now that they could see the end in sight.
Yeah.
They're reflecting and being like, oh, if this is our complete package, it's going to be kind of disappointing because all of our questions aren't answered. Which is a fair...
So many goddamn questions
That's left. So reasonable, I feel. But yeah, maybe he'll do a spinoff. Maybe he'll do a sequel. Maybe he like somehow has just forgotten he hasn't answered these questions and is like, oh yeah, I should go back and do that.
There's 2 characters. There was like 2 big fights that split off. There was like 2, like the end of the story was supposed to be like 2 big mega fights. And then he focused on one of the big mega fights, and we haven't seen the other mega fight for like 8 months. Like they just forgot they exist, and now there's 4 chapters left, and at least one of more of those chapters is going to be focused on the conclusion of the other big mega fight.
How involved in the anime is he?
I could imagine pretty involved.
You think he's
he's not directing it?
Well, do you think he's doing a George R. R. Martin where he's like, I kind of just care about the anime? Because the anime's made like changes, and it's like not like big changes, but it's like detailed and developed.
Artistic, changes,
tons of artistic, like it's fleshed out fights that aren't really fights.
Yeah.
And it's like changed the wording of Sukuna's like carved shit.
Yeah, it's changed focus points, like it's like, oh, like we're trying to like draw the eye here. We're trying to build this subliminal narrative in the anime.
I mean, I have no evidence for this, but it's entirely possible he's like, I kind of like the anime's way cooler. I kind of want to just go supervise that and make other artists make my story.
I think that could I think legitimately that could be an aspect of it, because he isn't like he took a whole month off. Like a couple of weeks ago because he wasn't feeling well. And I think he might actually just be trying to lay down the framework. Yeah. And like he's like, okay, you go here, get the story done. And then like maybe we'll see like something that happens with Demon Slayer, right? Like we're like Demon Slayer, we got an extension of the Hashira training arc because everyone was like, oh, we want more Hashira. So
Vinland
he could just
Saga
be laying
did it
down.
too.
What?
Vinland Saga also like fleshed out a character that like isn't fleshed out in the manga.
Heavy? Snake?
But yeah, Snake. Yeah.
Maybe. Because I think like he is like possibly sicker than we realize, and I think he's just like, I'm gonna put a framework down. Let's hammer this out in the anime, which is the most popular anime on Earth.
Yeah.
But like that's my news. It's like, oh, JJK is barreling towards its end, and that's very scary to me.
Panamon says, Danny, are you okay?
Oh, probably because you've tried to puke like 3 times.
That could be it.
Yeah.
I'm really going to throw up.
You're like, you are so full of burrito. I'm also so full of burrito, but like, I told you, the most bloated podcast in America, baby. That's us. Two bloat boys.
It felt light. Like, I was like, I'm not that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, so I...
You filled in the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because all the salt in there, your body's like, we need water. And then you fill in the cracks with water, and you're like, oh, that was a bad idea.
I'm like, so My Hero's... Yeah, My Hero.
Oh, we didn't talk about the controversy. Gear shift. So when he does gear shift, he does Luffy's second gear position. You know when Luffy does his like
he grabs his fist.
He puts his like fist down, and everyone was like, "Oh, Horikoshi is stealing from MHA," and like just because like it was revealed, like this is like he goes gear shift, second gear. And he like puts his arm down like Luffy. It's a reference to Luffy's second gear because everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love One Piece." Yeah. Horikoshi,
One Piece.
Well-known, huge One Piece fan. And so like it was like, hey, this is a shout out to Oda. And everyone on the internet was like, Horikoshi stealing from another manga. And then it's just not Luffy's ability at all.
Yeah. It's just speed.
It's just like, well, it's motion. It's like momentum. Like he can either like increase his momentum, other people's momentum, or slow them down.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool ability. I just wish we could have seen it be trained in the slightest.
That's what I'm saying. I forgot that's how we ended up on JJK. But like, yeah, I think like if I look at this at an objective, like broader view, it's like really not well written. Because the whole season is like characters are retroactively getting backstories out of nowhere.
Bakugo being like, oh, by the way, I figured out that sweat comes out of all the parts of my body and now I'm faster.
It's like 6 characters being like, by the way, I figured out blank.
Todoroki saying I found out a way to cycle ice and fire in my body simultaneously to create phosphor.
It's the Stars and Stripes fight, which is stupid all around. It's Deku being like, by the way, I figured out how to do this. How to pop and lock.
Yeah, he's popping and locking, baby.
It's so much of that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's Endeavor being like, by the way, I shoot fire out of my eyeballs now. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's just stuff
and then
happening.
And then Dobby just like also, he's like, you hit me with your phosphor and I figured it out. And you're like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
It's just stuff happening, and it's a lot of like, oh, let's try this. That didn't make a dent. Let's try this. That didn't make a dent. Like it's Dragon Ball at its worst, where all of the side characters.
If your name's not Deku, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, they don't even like actually chip away at Shigaraki. The only argument you can make is that they're like, oh, they're like stalling him. Could they not have just trapped him in the thing and then like left?
They absolutely could have.
Yeah, right.
Like he can't. There's like a very like he cannot make it through the electromagnetic field, and like Monoma and Aizawa are outside of the barrier. Like none of them technically need to be in there.
True. What if they just put them? Yeah, put Aizawa and everyone outside of the barrier. Just look at him.
Yep.
That's it. No one needs to be risking their life.
Yeah,
I guess they're trying to weaken him.
Yeah.
But it's just nothing,
Like the original plan is that Deku's going to be there and like fight against them. They probably can't get out without like lowering the electromagnetic field. But like he could like possibly drill out the bottom or something. But like the entire thing is he can't use his decay.
Right.
So like anytime he destroys something like, what's her name? Creati. Just like makes more and they send it up to the top.
Yeah.
Like they effectively accomplished nothing. They accomplished not a goddamn thing.
For like 20 episodes.
Yeah.
What episode are we on?
Deep. We're pretty deep. We're at least 13 episodes into the season.
Yeah. It's just like it's fun because I like My Hero and because it's all fights. But it's every episode is like, oh, I guess Bakugo has water powers now.
Yeah.
I guess Todoroki has gun hands.
I have a question for you. How do you feel about Tanjiro being on his last breath for like 5 episodes?
On his last breath.
Like, you know how like Tanjiro in the Entertainment District arc is like, I'm poisoned, my fingers are broken, I can't breathe. You know, like like he's like, he dies. Like 6 times. But then he's like, I got a little bit left in me. He's like Randy Marsh, like I didn't hear no bell. You know, like that. Like, how do you feel about that?
That's different because he's like I hate poison always because it's so like not tangible.
It never also does the thing it's supposed to. You're like, oh, ouchie, and then you're fine.
It never does anything, and they'll always just ignore it when they want the fight to look cool.
Yeah.
But Tanjiro, like, breaking his fingers is great. Like, any, like, visible... Like, if Deku broke an arm, that'd be hype.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be cool. Deku double breaking fingers.
Yeah.
Dumb. Yeah, Tanjiro, it only annoys me when Tanjiro is like, when they're starting getting the mark thing, where it's like, my body temperature has to be at this.
Yeah.
And if I'm close to death, I get a boost.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut up. Just this whole story. It's so weird how anime love being like, our main theme is work hard and you will succeed. And then at like the moment it matters most, they're like, oh, by the way, you also have to be born the best.
Yeah, you also have to have a body of 114 degrees and a heartbeat over 200, and you have to be one of the 7 people who gets a fucking Demon Slayer mark.
Yeah, fucking like Demon Slayer's whole thing is that Tanjiro trains his ass off and is determined, but then it's like, oh, he wouldn't actually have beaten so-and-so
Without your Demon Slayer mark.
Yeah, so
which
then
you were
it's like,
born with.
Yeah, like what the fuck? No, I hate that shit.
Okay, so like, how do you feel about the concept of like, hey, I can only use this move once, and when this move is done, my body's gonna like collapse and I lose kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and like keep going. I hate that's fine, but like stay collapsed. Why is that Demon Slayer?
You're gonna hate this season of MHA.
Oh yeah.
We have so much. I got a little left in me ahead of us. It's insane.
I mean, even this episode, they're like, that's a 120% smash.
Yeah.
Like, move the scale.
Yeah. Hey, friend, not how it works. Yeah.
It just isn't.
And it's always 120%. JJK does the same thing. They're like, oh, everyone's fighting at 100%, 120% of their capacity. And it's like, okay, that's their 100% then.
Everyone's fighting at 120% 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's like, hey, man, they're locked in. Congratulations. Like,
Yeah.
you just get a 20% boost for being locked in.
It's the most like middle school boy ass logic.
Yeah.
Because it means nothing.
Yeah.
It's just to be like, it's like Kaioken times blank.
It's power scaling is what it is. Exactly that. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
This episode was dumb of my hero.
You know what? Sucks. It all sucks. You know what? It's so funny though, because when we were eating dinner, we sat down, we watched Wistoria, and we're talking about like, stories about like, oh, you have to be the greatest. You gotta like fight super hard and like friendship and hard work will make you overcome, and also be born with anti-magic. But like Wistoria, we watched the first 2 episodes. You loved it. I'm now 6 episodes in. There was no indication that Will, the main character, is at some point gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, your dad was God.
Fucking hopefully.
Yeah.
I liked it though. It was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's because you were like, this is the most generic mid-ass thing.
I came in real salty on it. And I was like, because the first episode, like, something about it just didn't sit right with me. And I watched the dub today. I'd watched the sub before, and I really liked the dub. And now going back and rewatching these episodes, I'm like, this is fucking, they over animated the fucking shit.
Yeah.
They're just doing like unnecessary, like, cape fluttering, like that kind of stuff. Like hairs are moving, all that. Like fingers are twiggling, like swords are cutting laser beams in half. Like it's just so pretty.
It's so pretty. It's just likable.
Yeah.
Like
the characters are likable.
Yeah, the characters are very likable and fun. Like the main guy is just a nice dude, but he's not like overconfident. He's like constantly scared, but he's competent.
Yeah.
Which is fun. But not constantly scared in like a Zenitsu way.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it and I remembered when you were so salty. And I was almost salty being like, how dare we say solo leveling is like so sick and solo leveling so dope and be like, oh, this anime is generic.
Yeah.
Like solo leveling, I enjoyed.
Yes.
For what it was. Like it's very fine. That is my new JJK season 1, where I'm like, everyone's glazing. Like, solo leveling is nowhere near the hype it deserves. This is just as good. This
was a take that I came around on eventually, because I do genuinely believe solo leveling was good. The manhwa is good. The first season was good. I like that they're building out additional characters, because like they are. I think by the end of the anime will be better than the manhwa. But you brought up a very valid point that like a lot of solo leveling's popularity is the fact that it was a printed out web novel, so it was colored. It was very pretty. And it just like if you like read the manhwa, you're like, oh, it just kind of looks like the anime. you're kind of right, objectively. Like, it is just the story of the weakest guy getting real strong through hard work. But, like, in the case of Soul Leveling, Jin Woo gets selected by the system.
Yeah.
Which, when you find out later, is a real Naruto situation where it's like, oh, the god of godliness and godmen decided to choose you to become the next god heir, so kill all the gods.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have like, okay, sure. But you're like, so it's not about like him working hard. It's about a system choosing him and the system being built for him to survive and win.
Yeah.
So like, you're absolutely right. Like, I'm watching Wistoria and I was like, when you watch the fights, I tell them like every fight has an Igris the Blood Red level fight.
Yeah.
But it's every episode, unlike where with Soul Leveling, it's like there's one in every 8 episodes.
Yeah. And again, I like Soul Leveling.
Yes.
Like, we talked about every episode that came out. Very fun. It's just one of those things where I'm like...
It's overhyped.
It's overhyped. And I'm watching Wisteria, and I'm like, how dare people not give this the same
I
fucking
think Wistoria
hype?
is objectively underhyped.
Yeah. It's dope. I'm going to be talking about it on TikTok. I used to, whenever there was a crazy fight, I used to do a TikTok that was like your classic, like, and then he does this and he knocks the pupils out of Sasuke.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to do that for the first episode of Wistoria.
It's
because
sick.
it's real cool.
It's really good. The fight against the Dark Sentinel is one of the cooler fights I've seen in anime.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Outside of that, we watched Elusive Samurai.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Just a bit, you watched Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, but not Elusive Samurai?
You told me to.
That's fair, I
My
did.
boss.
And I loved it. I loved our bit. Some of the craziest choreography I've seen in
Really?
recent years.
Good episode.
There's a whole fight between like his 2 samurai retainers and a dual wielding katana user. And like he's just fucking like twirling blades and the choreography's incredible.
Did you finish last week's episode
Yes,
when the villains...
walkthrough with the head cut offs. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really good.
Really good.
Really. He's like, oops, sorry. Oh, and then just like the Shogun's like kid is like, oh, thank God people are going to see from the monster he is. And everyone just starts running towards him and his charisma just works on everybody.
Well, I'm glad you watched that because that's what I was talking about in that bit where I was like, these are master animators that were bored with the initial pitch of this show.
Yeah.
You know, like they're like, no, we're doing that. We're cranking this to 11.
Yeah, I'm just going to direct this one as hard as I can.
Yeah. So this episode, the best episode, or?
I'd say the last episode was the best episode. But this one, it's the best choreography I've seen in a long time. It's like really fucking good choreography.
Better than
It's like Naruto Boruto at its peak level choreography.
Oh wow. I was gonna say better than the fucking good old fashioned Irish pub bathroom brawl between Yuji and Chozo.
That's more directing. Like I feel like that's the strength of that scene. The strength of a lot of the Shibuya incident is directing. The choreography is incredible, but like it's like the POV Doom like blood laser
like
shot,
angles
and you know
stuff,
it's like you know like the way they made the bathroom like. There's water everywhere. It's like blue. You see him lift his shirt. He's like use like red stack scale to make his chest. Like that's directing to me. This is just like hands, and they make it look sick.
That's hype. You know what I was thinking about the other day?
What?
Growing up, for all the shit I give JJK, it recently gave me a hand sign that I do all the time now. It's not that. What is that?
Wait, this?
What are you trying to do? I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, if you don't know that, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Okay. Well, no.
This one came up real recently, we'll say, and it's really hard to do. Try and do this.
Nick is doing double. I did it immediately.
It's hard to keep your middle fingers apart.
It's 2 middle fingers looking like 2 towers.
Yeah.
And that's it. I like all growing up, I used to do like firebending hands.
Yeah.
I used to do like a big like final flash kind of thing. Yeah, the bridge hand sign from Naruto.
Yep.
I did it in reverse, but
That's okay.
all over the place for some reason. I'm finding myself doing the Chozo like blood thing.
Nice.
Like I'll just be standing there and I just like put my hands together and I just pretend. I love how they convey like that it's a lot of pressure. Like his hands are shaking kind of, and he really has to keep it controlled.
Especially when he's like trying to hit Kenjaku with it at the end of the season.
It's like bending a little.
Like the original one of my favorite aspects of the Kamehameha was like him grabbing it and twisting it.
Yeah, when he like twists it to follow Raditz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been doing that a bunch.
That's
but there's a
interesting
lot
that
of good hand signs.
This there's wait, no, hold up.
That's like domain expansion, right?
Yeah, there's Sukuna's is, I think that might be Sukuna's.
Oh, you know what? I used to do this a lot. The Shadow Dogs.
Oh, Shadow Dogs is great. I think, you know what's so funny? I feel like a large aspect of an anime success is like how, like the physical poses you can pull from it. And there's so many good ones with JJK. Yeah. And I think that's why it's so popular. Because you look at Black Clover, like what can you do?
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Not Luffy's. Like you can do like Luffy's like second gear pose. You can do.
One Piece has, I thought One Piece had none. Until recently, I'm seeing people being like, what are the gears, dude? And it's like, I don't want to do a whole fucking full body ass pose.
Yeah, second gear is kind of it though. But third gear requires like he's like, I guess you could be like pretend to blow up your arm or something.
Well, people do this.
That's bounce, man. That's fourth gear.
Yeah, people in the Olympics have been doing like all the Luffy things, and I'm like, dude, I'm 80% burrito. I'm not about to get into a squat right now.
Yeah, it's too much work. It's like it's like, and then like Kamehameha, like one, it was like there was the fusion dance, right? So it was like you do it with your friends and you try to get your fingers to touch perfectly. Yeah. And then the Kamehameha is just like
easy,
just a classic.
Yeah. Naruto's just so easy. Like,
let's do it.
What?
Let's do a ranking. Top 3. We'll do a draft right now.
As if we don't have enough to talk about.
We're out of things.
Go on.
We'll do a rank. Top 3 hand signs. I'll let you go first. Top 3 anime. All right. Me and Danny are about to rank. Or we'll do a draft. Me and Danny are about to draft our top 3 anime hand signs.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first. Any anime movement.
I got to do Naruto's confirmation seal.
Confirmation seal is very good.
Yeah. You don't even do it right. One hand has to be higher than the other. Mr. Naruto. And you have the thumbs out? What the fuck are you doing, you clown?
First off, if I'm doing Naruto hand signs, I'm doing, this is my favorite, personally.
Just two hands?
I love this one. I love that one. Also, just this is, at the end, eventually, most people, like Datara, uses all seals of confirmations just go to one hand, eventually.
I like this one.
That one's good. That one's great.
You don't even do it right. You got to do...
It's too much work. That one's too much work.
2 fingers are higher than the other.
It's too much work.
Thumbs in.
If I'm being real.
You're the Naruto guy.
If I'm being real, this is my favorite one.
This is the best one.
It's the best one, objectively.
Yeah, when Sasuke fucking grabs him.
Yep.
Just fucking sucks his ass.
That's me and Dorothy's handshake, actually.
That's good.
Yeah. We do the fireball at the end. My number one. Yeah. My number one nowadays. Ooh. Yeah. Gojo's domain expansion.
Yeah,
it's a modern classic.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's slick.
Yep.
Like it's real clean looking.
You can pull it up, it's easy. You're like, you don't have to worry about like, am I doing this correctly? You know, got it.
Yeah. I'll do a give me Deku flicking.
You're going to Detroit Smash?
I'll do a Deku flick.
Is that Detroit Smash? Yeah. Detroit Smash is a flick.
So.
No, Detroit Smash is a flick.
It's a punch.
Is it?
Yeah. This isn't very smashing.
What's Delaware Smash? Is that New Hampshire Smash?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Don't start throwing other states at me.
I'm pretty sure Detroit Smash is the flick.
I don't know, but I like this. You have to grab the arm, you do the flick. It's real cool looking.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think it's a little...
It's weak.
A little low.
It's a little thin. You could have got it way lower, I'll tell you that right now. I have one that I could get. I have one that I can get real low. I'm not going to take it quite yet. I'll go Gear 2 from Luffy.
Yeah.
Gear 2 from Luffy.
Full body one?
It's the only one. It's the only, like, Bounce Man's fine. But like Bounce Man, Snake Man is kind of the same thing. And just like, this could be anything. You should be telling a guy to stop. Gear 2 Luffy, you know what you're doing.
I just know if I get into Gear 2 Luffy, my whole skeleton's going to start clicking and cracking.
It's a lot of work. We do that. We do that without a shirt on for you again. We get another, PFP cover photo for AnimeIRL. Third and final.
Is it best or just like...
Yeah, personal preference.
Because neither of us have done Kamehameha.
Yeah.
And I don't want to.
Why?
Because it's not my favorite.
Okay. It's a personal list, Danny. It's up to you.
This is such a mistake.
Why?
I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm going to do Chidori.
Chidori?
I love Chidori.
Chidori's pretty good.
It's so cool. You just grab your nuts.
Yeah.
You grab your arm.
Chidori's pretty good.
It's so sick.
You doubling down on Naruto and I didn't. It's crazy.
It's just the claw hand that he does. And knowing in that claw hand is a lightning ball.
Is just gripping lightning chakra. I'm going to do Fusion Dance.
Fusion Dance is
good. As good as gets. You and a buddy.
One.
Obviously a buddy's required, but like not even really, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, ba. Wait, no, it's ba. Wait, no.
Wait, you start
Oh, yeah.
You start away from each other.
Yeah, you go.
Fusion.
Yep.
Nope.
Is it across the body?
You go Don't go. You don't know how it goes.
I'm doing it with you. I'm learning the dance,
You're
Danny.
gonna fuck it up though. We're gonna end up fat.
You go.
Don't start it.
You go. You're not doing the little steps. You're not doing the little tip taps. You go.
You don't do the gritty.
You go fuse.
Yo, has anyone done the gritty
You go across.
and the fusion dance?
I don't think so.
We might have to be the first.
Okay.
You don't do that. You go fusion.
Yeah, you go across.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking wait.
No, it's over. It's over like this.
Nick,
Okay.
give me a fucking second.
Go.
Don't interrupt.
Go off, King.
Don't interrupt. If this goes on for 2 hours, don't even interrupt.
Okay.
Okay?
I feel like I'm in Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
It goes fusion. Ha.
Is that it?
Yeah, I kind of did it wrong though, I think. I think it's like, but you do the circle, and then you go like that.
You're right. And then you snap. You're right.
Yeah, so there's another step. Even if I didn't do it correctly, I'm closer than
No,
you.
you're closer than I was for sure. Yeah. What a workout.
Yeah, Kamehameha is just so
What would our
overdone.
fusion name be?
Dick.
Right? Yeah. It wouldn't be Dank. It could be. It's either Dick or Dank, or it's
Wait,
it's Ninny.
what's the longest form of your name? Is it Nicholas?
Nicholas.
Should we do Nicholas and Daniel?
Oh God.
Dickolas? It doesn't get better.
Nicholas is worse.
No, it'd be Dan Nicholas.
Or Naniel. Wait, no.
Nickelaniel?
Nick. Niniel.
Ninyo.
I think people are going to say Dickolas. I think we're going to get Dickolas.
Dickolas. Oh.
But it depends who's in charge, right? Because it's the Gogeta.
Well, one's
It's
the
the Gogeta.
earrings.
Who's the other one?
Vegito
thing.
Yeah.
So if I was more in charge, it'd be Ninilin.
And if I'm in charge, we're Dickless?
Yeah! Oh, that plays so good.
Damn
Perfect.
it.
Love that for us. All right. Do you have a best boy?
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Colossalcon,
Okay.
because
Golf King.
I was there.
Yep.
Great time, as always. Colossalcon
You
is...
see a lot of great cosplays.
Oh, yeah.
Talking
What are you talking?
talking about great cosplays.
Great cosplays,
I
yeah.
walk in and say, hey.
No comment.
These are the wettest cosplays I've ever seen.
Colossalcon does objectively have the wettest cosplays.
Yep.
It's at a water park.
Yep.
Which is awesome, always. Bloop, bloop, bloop. We motherfluffin I did a bunch of meet and greets, which was very fun.
Yep.
I watched
You did like 2 meet and greets.
Yeah, well
3 meet and greets. How many meet and greets did you do?
3. I do one
How many
after
people
every panel.
did you need to meet?
Thousands.
Was it not the same people every time? When we did our con, it was the same
No,
people.
there's
every
different
time.
people because not everyone gets a 3-day pass
That's
to a
fair.
con.
That's fair.
And so I watched Eminence and Shadow.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Hilariously not good.
It's like Shadow the Hedgehog, the anime.
Yeah.
He's like an avid crowbar
Yeah.
salesman. Loves the crowbar.
And just fucks people up with them.
fucks people up. There's like a 10-minute long like fucking TED talk on
He does
what
a
a
weird.
crowbar is.
The first episode is weirdly crowbar centric.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He does like a TED talk for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And at no point does he explain what the word eminence means.
No.
But I know a crowbar front, back, and center.
Oh, absolutely. I know how to use it defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
And the fact that it has reach and it can help you break into places.
Yeah, it was awesome. I kind of loved it. People were really into it. That was like the biggest panel by far. I think next con I'm gonna come and I'm gonna sign and give away crowbars.
That's great. I don't know if you can get them into the con.
Okay, like
They're not con safe.
prop crowbar.
There we go.
Crowbars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Eminence and Shadows taught me anything, it's that crowbars are not con.
No, they're not con safe at all. Not the way he uses them.
And I also watched Land of the Lustrous. People were lukewarm on that one. It's like Steven Universe a bit. It's about like
It's about the
rock
sentient
ladies.
gems.
Yeah. I dug it a lot.
Okay.
I thought it was really cool. No one else liked it. Everyone found it very boring.
What do you mean?
Not the panel itself. Like,
Okay.
I was getting yucks out.
Yeah.
But afterwards at the meet and greet, I was like, what'd you think of the panel? And they're like, yeah, the anime is kind of dumb. And I was like, man, it was really cool.
But they were just big eminence and shadow crowd.
Yeah.
There's like, I like how he has 9 girlfriends. I want 9 girlfriends. And you're like, well, that's fair.
Dude, there's a really funny bit in so yeah, it's Eminence and Shadows, like an isekai where a dude gets hit by a truck, classic. And gets whipped into like fantasy ass world. And
wouldn't you know it, there's 9 scantily clad women who all happen to be in love with him.
yeah, and he's swimming in women.
Yeah.
But he's like trying to become this like dark knight, like this shadow overlord.
He wants to become the eminence and shadow.
Yeah, whatever the hell that means.
No idea.
But he's kind of just felt like failing upwards.
Yeah.
And it's really endearing and funny. Like he is like in his quarters and they're trying to find this like hideout, like this bandit hideout. And his like one of his servants come in and they're like, all right, we've mapped out all of the bandit locations. Or he's looking for his sister. And she's like, we mapped out all the bandit locations. Which one do you think we should start with first? And he's like, you know, due to our intel and this and that, like, I have it on good authority to believe that it's this one. And he like throws a shadow knife at the map in his head. He's like, oh my God, I missed. And then she's like, there. And he's like, yup, there. And then they like go to that location because he's like too embarrassed to admit that he missed.
Yeah.
And then it ended before I got to see where that went. But I like that bit. It's a good bit.
Kind of selling me on it.
It's really funny. I think you'd like it. Do it in dub. It deserves
Every
a
time I
dub.
watch the first episode, I see him, he gets into the world and then there's just like 12 women with him. And I'm just like, I just can't.
That's for sure a possibility of where it's at.
I just can't do another harem. I can't
You
do
love
another harem.
Konosuba.
Konosuba's not harem. They all hate him. That's what's funny.
But he's always
He's
wiggling at
yeah,
him.
that's why they hate him. Like the funny part. Like Konosuba is a story about a always sunny character isekai'd into a world that wants to love him. It's awesome.
Well,
like every time he's about to like close the deal with a woman, he just like is the worst and then doesn't.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, if you're going to watch either of the two, then watch Land of the Lustrous because it was so good, everyone found it boring.
Okay.
Which is the mark of a show that's too good to react to.
Okay.
Because the world building's really cool. It's like...
I've never seen Steven Universe, though.
You don't have to. It's okay. It's not related.
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of like gem, like crystal people. You know, they're all varying gems of different like hardness.
Yeah.
And they can shatter. And if they shatter and you have all the pieces, you can like put them back together.
Yeah.
And they're they have faces.
It's loosely the plot of Dr. Stone.
Yeah, I guess. And they have faces and everything, but it's all like makeup. Like they make up skin onto them. When in actual, and they have like a sapphire one has like blue hair.
Yeah.
If you take off the makeup, they're all blue.
Interesting.
Which is really cool. But anyway, there's this like alien race that comes and like kills them for jewelry.
Oh.
Like they kill them and then they like take up their shards and they wear them as jewelry. And it's such a fucking cool, weird world.
Yeah.
And the animation's gorgeous. Like, hands down, if not the best CGI anime ever, close to it.
Really?
Like, it's really
all
stunning.
CGI?
It's all CGI. It's really good looking. It's so good looking. At first, I was like, I thought this was CGI. What happened? Why is this 2D?
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. The art style's not at all what I expected.
It's interesting because the character models are CG and the backgrounds are 2D, which
Yeah.
makes it look better.
Like very 2D.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It kind of looks like Ruby.
It's better looking.
Yeah. It's just like the character models and the general vibe kind of looks like Ruby to me.
They like move better. In every 3D anime I've watched, like Beastars, Trigun, at some point I'm like, man, I wonder what that would look like in 2D. Or I'm like,
I wonder if it wasn't constrained to like 24 FPS.
yeah, but this at no point was I like taken out and
Yeah.
thought of 2D animation. Like,
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
What's it on?
High Dive. Never mind, you won't watch it. I just remembered.
I
why.
have High Dive.
Oh,
I'm watching
crazy.
Oshinoko right now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. While you have High Dive, you should check it out.
While you have High Dive, you should check out Oshinoko.
I don't. The con did.
It's so fucking
Yeah.
watch the goddamn show.
But anyway,
Do you
yeah.
want to know my best boy?
Just real quick, I'm just gonna say Colossalcon's awesome. Genuinely 100% my favorite con to go to.
I'm going
Eventually.
No, I have I'm contractually obligated to go to the next one, I think.
Right, but I don't know when that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do like 6 a year, and they're all at water parks, and they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My best boy, Steel Inquisitors.
Yeah, how far are you?
I am.
Steel Inquisitors are Nick's best boy.
Dude, I am officially, I listened to it my entire plane ride today. I am on chapter 20. I'm halfway through the book.
Nice.
It was 26 hours. I have 12 hours left.
Nice. Are you liking it still?
It's so goddamn good. I love everybody. I love all the characters.
Yeah.
I like Eden. Oh, wait, no, not Eden. Eden's the leader of the... Elend. I like Elend. He's just a quirky little reading guy. He's like, the skull, all that. He's 21, though, and Vin's like 16.
Yeah,
so that's,
it is what it is.
I don't love that. I'm gonna be fully real.
Medieval times, be wild.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but that's a thing that's happening. Love Kelsier.
Yeah.
But I recently got to the chapter while I was driving to Logan this morning, and me and Amos we were driving there. We were with Mackenzie, Amos's girlfriend, and Dorothy mine, and they both passed out in the car. And I'm like driving, I got an hour and a half drive between the Cape and Boston. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna listen. And Amos is in the back. He's working, and I just see him like. Yeah. Oh, and so me and Amos just rock out to this audiobook for an hour, and we got to the chapter where Kelsier tries to break into the room that the Lord Ruler goes to for like 3 hours every 3 days or something. And there's 3 Steel Inquisitors inside of it, and like Kelsier gets like snagged by the throat, and like Kelsier like stabs one of them in the neck, and it doesn't die. My favorite thing, such an underrated aspect of like Brandon Sanderson's writing. One, probably the most descriptive writer I've ever experienced. Wow. Like so good at describing like rooms and like ballrooms and windows. Like every time, like if you really like sit down and listen to these books, it's just architecture of the book, because it's just like Brandon Sanderson, I think, like actually just adores architecture.
He loves a ball.
Dude, he loves a ball. Yeah. He loves a ball so much. He wants to dance. Brandon Sanderson just wants to dance. Yeah. He likes archways.
Brandon Dancerson.
Dude, Brandon Dancerson. He wants archways. He loves stained glass windows.
Okay.
And he wants to tell you all about them. He loves describing how things feel and how they begin.
Right.
So much.
Like an author.
Well, I guess.
Of sorts.
But like he's so descriptive.
Yeah.
But the way he describes Steel Inquisitors ran a chill down my spine.
They're terrifying.
Because he doesn't refer to them as people. He refers to them as things.
Yeah.
Like creatures. But they're still humans, right? They're just misborn who went through some kind of a God knows what. I don't know what they went through. But they're like wiry smiles with tall tattooed eyes with nails driven through their eyeballs. And it was such a cool like establishment that like, cause like for like 12, 13 chapters, they're like Mistborn's pretty much the best to ever do it. I can pull, I can push, I can soothe, I can riot.
Let me tell you, I can push. I can pull.
Oh, I pushed her. She pulled me.
I can see thin blue lines in the air. If you're a Mistborn, I see you.
Look, there he is. They say, I can't see him. His tin better than mine. I see through the fog, the mist better than anybody. So they're like, oh, you're like, we're the best to ever do it. And then you're just like immediately assaulted by the fact that like, oh, Steel Inquisitors are the baddest bitches in the world.
Yeah.
And it's cool that like, we come to the same realization as Vin. And it's like this fall from grace of Vin being like, I'm invincible. And you're like, oh, we at the same time realize the world is much bigger.
Yeah.
Immediately. I was right about the excerpts at the end of every chapter being the Lord Ruler. And can you guess my favorite character?
Sazed?
Goddamn right, it's Sazed.
Sazed's the best one.
Sazed's the fucking best character in the world, dude.
He's awesome.
So I'm listening to the audiobook. I don't know the guy who's reading it.
Michael Kramer.
He's the GOAT. He's the best to ever do it. His accent for Sazed, love it. He does like I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
I think.
I don't know if that would be the right choice.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he's always like, Ernie.
Ernie, get in the low rider. I think.
Is a little higher, I think.
So I'm huge Seizen guy. Still no idea what's going on with the terrorist people. And I love it so much.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if anybody out there needs to hear this, but books, kind of dope.
For anyone very confused, I just realized we never said what book you're talking about.
Final
Mistborn.
Empire.
Yeah, Final Empire, Mistborn. Amos was right and not at all being over dramatic when so you one day texted Amos and I, just a fucking no context, like you were like, yo, hot take, or like fat prediction. The Lord Ruler's the one writing the things.
Excerpts at the end of every chapter. Yeah.
And Amos was like, that book will have you like, that will rip the rug under your feet, make you rethink everything you thought about the world like 8 times. And you were just not ready for the twists. Brandon Sanderson is like the GOAT of twists. It's all like, I'm so excited for your journey. Let me know when they do a big run.
A big run?
They're going to do a big run. They're going to run for a long time. And it's like my favorite instance of literature. It's so well described.
Is it on like the Copper Highway? Like, you know, there's the copper poles and they do the push-pull to get from Felice to Lucidel?
You'll know a big run.
Okay.
When it comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I make some predictions?
Yeah.
Okay, just to get ahead of it. So I'm on chapter 20, 12 hours left. Her brother's going to come back. Her brother's going to be involved in the story in some capacity whatsoever. He gets brought up way too often.
Okay.
Something's got to happen with her dad. Because she sees her dad as a ball. And he's like some high prelin that everybody is like, oh, this is the biggest, dickest swinging guy. And then the Steel Inquisitors are like, who's your father? Basically. And so that's going to happen. There's going to be something with her dad. I think the Lord Ruler isn't as bad as people say he is.
Hot take.
I don't know. I think there's going to be, for some reason, part of me is like, oh, Reen is the Lord Ruler or something. Like, I don't know. I have like some like weird connection in my mind because like I know that the Lord Ruler is immortal and that's got to do something with a Terraceman. And Reen is this mysterious figure who pointed out to, like, Reen pointed out that, oh, that's your dad, basically, to Vin. So I'm like, how does he know that? All this kind of thing. But yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. It's also like a damn near perfect trilogy. Mm-hmm. So like
Amos is heavy on the first book is better than the last two.
Amos is a weird, goofy guy.
Okay. He's like, the first book is way better than the first.
I really love the second book because it's like, with no spoilers, it gets so Game of Thrones where they're like, there's a situation where like 4 armies are in a stalemate because if one army attacks the other,
the other two will attack them.
Yeah, the other two will attack them. They'll be weakened. And so it's like, no, it's a Mexican standoff among armies.
Yeah.
And it's so like, if you're into that concept, like that kind of political intrigue, it's super gripping.
Yeah.
And then the third book is like so crazy and good. I think the reason I say it's like a perfect trilogy though is like, if you end this book and when you inevitably end this book with like a bunch of questions and you're like, well, it didn't do this and that, like every question has a payoff and it's like so well thought out and there are so many twists.
It's so crazy to me that I have 12 hours left in this book and then after that there's 2 more books.
Yeah.
I was like 12 hours, everything's gonna be quiet. Like I'm gonna be done. I'm not that I'm looking forward to the end, but I'm like, oh wow. Like I just like love having my answers, like all my answers. And I just know after this, like, oh, we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
I will say though, and this might like speak to the fact of why I disliked the Rick and Morty episode so vehemently. I've realized listening to this book, I love it when we just stick with 2 people. Like or just like one, like it's like Kelsey and Vin are usually together, and I'm like, I love that. I've been doing House of Dragons, you know, Game of Thrones, and I'm like, oh, we're in the Iron Islands, we're in the Iron Throne, we're in Dorne, and I'm like, I miss my favorite character, and I haven't seen them in 4 fucking episodes. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, when we had like the guys walking through the snow, one of the Bran Stark, and I was like, what happened to Bran Stark and Hodor? I haven't seen them in a season and a half.
Yeah.
So no, I think Brandon Sanderson absolutely dicks down George R.R. Martin. It's not even close. And I love him so goddamn much.
Hype.
I've already done my news. You have no news.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Lord of the Rings trailer?
Sure, yeah, you had crazy hot takes. I thought I was going to be the crotchety old man being like, this is kind of mid, but you were real.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks really bad.
It looks like any Lord of the Rings thing has such high potential to be aggressively boring.
Yep.
Is the problem.
Because it could just give you the most. Here's the thing. What makes Lord of the Rings so incredibly, the original trilogy, so incredibly good is that it's high fantasy done in like, and this is going to sound reductive and ridiculous, but it's high fantasy done in the, simple can be good level of Demon Slayer. Like, it's like, Demon Slayer is the Lord of the Rings of anime and of Japanese lore. You have to collect a bunch of magical swords to defeat some demons. That is the most straight down the middle Japanese story you've ever heard in your entire life. Lord of the Rings is that for high fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's done perfectly because the characters are compelling. The world building is literally second to none.
Yeah.
And so that's why Lord of the Rings is great. So many other Lord of the Rings IP missed that mark.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because high fantasy has possibly become overdone since Lord of the Ring dropped.
Well, the thing is that, like, Middle Earth, because Lord of the Rings was so good and such an incredible foundation for fantasy.
Yeah.
So much of other fantasy have been inspired by it and like built upon it.
Yeah.
And so like there are orcs, there are elves, there are dwarves in almost every other fantasy setting.
Yeah.
And they've like subverted the genre. They've done this and that anytime you go back to Middle Earth, I'm always like, man, this is kind of generic, huh?
Yeah.
Like this, I'm never
It's
like
not a visually stunning world the seventh time around.
Yeah, exactly.
Mordor's really cool. The Shire's really cool.
Yeah.
I know what they look like.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all just New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like at this point. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, and also I told you, like, the original trilogy is incredible. The books are great. Every single other Lord of the Rings piece of media is not good other than like the Shadow of Mordor games.
The Shadow of Mordor games are fucking great.
Those rip.
And the Lord of the Rings GameCube game.
Fair. Yeah, the PS2 GameCube games, really fun.
Fucking good.
But those are just the games.
Yeah.
But like Shadow of Mordor was great because it's so like, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be like a hardcore rated M fucking revenge Batman
I'm going to
story.
be brutalizing orcs to make the other ones run away.
Yeah, it's like a power fantasy.
There's also like there's like something that I haven't seen, like a game within a game. It's so rare where it's like, this game within the game is so compelling, I'll put 1,000 hours into it. Witcher, it was Gwent.
Oh, Gwent, yeah.
Gwent is probably my favorite TCG of all time. I adore Gwent. And in the Shadow of Mordor games, it's the arena battles where you get like your orcs and you train them up and you like breed them together and all that. And like you get like different like berserkers and all these kinds of things. Like I put hundreds of hours into that as well.
You're the only one playing Shadow of Mordor like it's Pokemon. That's so funny.
Not at all true. So many people do it. It's so much fun.
It's so fun. But yeah, it's just like this dope orc power fantasy. But the story's nothing crazy. You know,
Shadow
like,
of Mordor story?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it is.
It's so fine. It's just the fact that you're like, oh, I'm Batman fighting orcs. This
It's
is awesome.
just the mechanics are incredible.
Hobbit movies suck.
They're fine. They're objectively fine.
They're like pretty.
I'd never elect to watch them, but like they're fine.
Yeah, the Hot movies are mid. Apparently, Rings of Power sucks. I'm not gonna watch it.
I have no. They're making a second season that I'm going to be advertising soon.
Oh wow! Look at you. So you can't say it's mid.
No.
And that Gollum sucks.
The game?
Yeah, the game.
The
like,
game. The Golem game.
Yeah, like I don't trust. And most anime movies are boring.
Yeah.
Like, but the animation looks pretty good. There's a lot of CGI in the trailer, though.
It's like a ridiculous amount of CGI. Like it's like if I'm trying to build out a trailer for this new anime that we're dropping, I'm not padding in all the CGI moments. I'm telling you right now, any like moment of high movement in that show is going to be CGI, and it's going to take me out of it immediately.
Yeah.
I will probably watch the first episode.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
That's almost sadder.
You'd think it'd have less CGI.
You'd think it would have less CGI.
It's just 2 hours of content.
Exactly. We had to do a BetterHelp ad this episode. I'm just trying to find the read for it.
Okay.
August 22nd. Oh, that's today.
Yeah.
Please see the attached onboarding deck. It has a ton of great info about BetterHelp and what they're looking for with partnerships for new shows. Oh, God.
You want to do this after?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. But yeah, no, it doesn't look great. The storyline doesn't seem like the trailer didn't really convey what the story was going to be.
The War of Rohirrim?
Yeah. Rohirrim. But
yeah, there's just nothing. It's pretty. Like, it kind of looks like Mushoku Tensei mixed with Castlevania a bit.
Castlevania's, it looks, I see where you're coming from Castlevania. It's like a similar art style where like they're very like distinctly more like anatomically humanoid, but the art style, like it doesn't have the cell shading, the movement, the fluidity. Like Castlevania is like a masterclass in animation.
You love Castlevania.
I love Castlevania. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
I know.
It's so goddamn good.
Yeah, there was nothing in it that I was like, oh, this is like fucking, like, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, because when I saw the screenshots, I was like, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Like, it looks gorgeous. And it's still pretty, but yeah, there's too much. In just this trailer, if we're already like, there's too much CGI in just the trailer, that's really worrying.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Like if you're showing me what you consider to be the best moments and it seems like semi-middling story points and like a bunch of CGI of like you bringing down like, what are the elephants called? Elephunks?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then the MC's a girl. And she can't do that.
Yeah.
She's not powerful enough to do all that.
A girl can't take on man.
A girl can't take on man, especially in Lord of the Rings world.
Yeah.
Girl never done anything important.
No, she didn't do that.
Girl never done anything important in Lord of the Rings.
Remember that one time when the Witch King was like, no man can beat me. And then girl was like, I am no man. And the Witch King went, I'll kill you then.
Yeah.
And then he kills her.
And then he kills her.
He kills her.
A lot easier than he would have if she was a man.
Yeah.
So
They're soft.
they're soft.
They're soft and they have a blind spot.
They have a their hair.
They have a big blind spot. It's right here.
Right.
They can't see this coming.
They can't see every time I'm gonna punch a woman in the
just
back
go
of the
whap.
head. Never see me coming.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Women have more blind spots than men. It's
Women
a fact.
never play important roles in Lord of the Rings. Because that's unfortunately got to be what it is, though. Because it's just going to be a bad movie, and people are going to be like, "Well, it's because a woman's the main character," and it's like, no, it's just a bad movie.
Oh yeah, people love that. I'm also finding people love being like, dude, I don't care what race or gender the character is, just make it a good thing and have them coincidentally be that race or gender.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't wait for the thing to come out to see if it's good yet.
Yeah.
Like it's the thing with the what is it? Like any fucking time, like Concord, where all the characters, nope, never mind. Like Assassin's Creed.
There we go.
Where people are like mad that Yasuke is a black samurai. And they're like, it's forced diversity.
Oh, Concord, that 5v5 shooter that flopped in a week.
Yeah,
Gotcha, yeah.
But like, they're like, it's forced diversity. It's not for the story. And it's like, wait for the thing to come out.
Yeah, you can just enjoy the thing.
Yeah, if you really don't care, then you don't know that it's poorly written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you really don't care, why are you yelling about it online?
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird thing to do with somebody you don't care about.
Yeah. I've never been like, yo, Mars bars need to be produced more because I don't care. Why would I be like that?
Isn't Mars bars
It's a candy bar.
Isn't that like but they own? What is it? Mars bars owns like Hershey.
This is why I'm never saying this online because I don't care. So that'd be weird for me to talk about it online.
Is Mars bars a real bar?
Yeah.
But I thought they were just the company that owned
No,
Hershey.
it's a Mars bar. It's like a Babe Ruth.
A Mars? What is that one?
I don't know, Nick. It's a candy bar. I don't care. That's why I'm never talking about it.
Oh my God.
Don't make me care about Mars bars.
I just got the biggest, like when you're like scrolling, you like doing a new Google thing, and like it'll like have a discover page, just the massive JJK manga spoiler 2 days before the official release. Like that's I know it, but like my God, what the fuck?
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow when we release our video. But like, come
Right,
on,
yeah.
Sports Kita. All right, that brings us to our favorite part of this show where me and Danny get a question from our live audience. It's called Love Letters. And if you guys want to watch our podcast live, you can become a member on YouTube or Patreon. And not only will we get our podcast live, but you also get 2 additional hours of content every single month. Me and Danny got to film that soon. We're going to be finishing off Chain together. Stank wants us to get 8 people together to do, I don't even remember what it was called, the new Among Us thing where you're all astronauts.
Some nonsense.
So, Danny, Can you get his question?
What anime tournament do you think you could win that's really funny?
Here's my thing with the anime tournament. I'm not winning any of them because I'm self-aware. Like Dark Tournament, maybe? No, probably not even that. Fucking Yusuke's in there.
Wars?
Food Wars? Soma's kicking my ass. What's my best?
I can't beat Kiba, but I can beat Naruto.
Because Kiba's got fangs?
Kiba has a dog.
I thought you could beat two wolves,
Kiba's
Danny.
two people.
He's two wolves!
I can't,
His whole thing is that he's two wolves!
I can't beat a guy and a wolf.
They're two wolves half the time. It's in fact he does.
The other half time they're two guys, which is worse than two wolves.
I'd reckon it's not.
I reckon it is.
Hey, Danny, when you talk about, I'm gonna fight two wolves, and you're like, I deserve weapons.
Yeah.
Because the wolves have weapons. The humans don't have weapons.
Yeah, but they're smart. And they can grab me. One will grab me and the other will give me a noogie.
What do you think the wolves are gonna do, Danny? Think they're gonna lick you to death?
No, they're not smart enough.
Half the time,
One wolf's coming at me, I direct. He's stunned.
His chi manipulated.
Ready? He comes at me. Directed.
Like
Second
water.
wolf, I have all the time in the world to grab this wolf, break its jaw. Now I'm on the next one.
You're just like King Konging you're just gonna rip it in half.
Because here's what's fucking stupid about wolves, Nick. These dumbass idiot.
Mouths too big.
These dumbass idiot not having GED ass wolves.
Yeah.
They're always coming at me with the mouth. They have one trick.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that trick. First wolf, direct.
Yeah.
Second wolf, coming at me with the mouth.
Uh-huh.
I either put a big stick in it.
Yeah.
So it can't close its mouth.
Big juicy steak in my back pocket. Throw. Distracted.
Or a big juicy
Now that wolf's domesticated. He's on my side.
Yeah, I turn them.
Yeah.
I convince it. Wolf's coming at me with the mouth. I grab the mouth. Mm-hmm. I break its mouth.
Yeah.
It no longer has any tools. That one's done. This wolf's just about finished being stunned.
Yep.
I'm on his ass.
Yeah.
If he's stunned long enough, I get on his back.
Mm-hmm.
A wolf simply can't do anything if I'm
No.
on its back. There's nothing. If
Go
you're on my
downstairs and
back,
try and hold Wagyu down for 30 seconds. If you can go downstairs and get a Wagyu hyped up and then grab his back and hold him down for 30 seconds, I'll admit you can beat two wolves in a fight.
that's tempting.
Yeah. Wagyu weighs 100 pounds less than a wolf.
And guess what?
What?
I weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
Yeah.
I'm so light, he's not going to shake me off.
Because,
I'm like a backpack.
Yeah.
I'm light but strong.
That's why weight classes exist. So light people don't clamber on to the heavyweights, and the heavyweights are just scrambling at him like the muscular guy from Fairly Odd Parents when in the movie when he got too big and they put the cat on him.
It's hard to clamber onto a human.
Yeah.
You can't clamber onto another
I'll
human.
clamber onto you right now.
If you first off, good luck. Second,
I'm locking you down, Chief.
second, if you are on my back,
Yep.
a human can get a person off their back.
Yep.
I'll put my thumbs in your eyes. I'll wiggle my little tush.
Yep.
You'll get hard. You'll get embarrassed. You'll get off.
Oh. I learned something about myself.
I'll pull your hair. It might come out. You'll be nervous about that.
I would be very. You want to get
specifically.
You want to get. Listen, this is terrible advice because like somebody might use this against me one day. You want me to tap out of a fight? Go for my eyes or the front of my hair. I will tap out of a fight so quickly. If I lose even 3 hairs, I'm just gonna get sad.
That's what I'm saying. These are the weaknesses I'm analyzing all the time. A wolf, I'm on its back. Good luck.
Yeah.
If it rolls, that's tough. But I don't think they're smart enough to roll.
Okay. What was our question?
So Rose asks, who's an anime parent we would want to hook up with?
I feel as though this question, I feel like this answer's almost cheating because it's a show that had a previous generation and now it's on the next generation. Now the previous generation became parents. But Inojin's mom, AKA Miss Ino herself.
Whoa.
That's a layup.
Whoa.
That's the beauty. Yeah. The beauty of Naruto is that all of the characters became parents one day. And so if I'm ever trying to, the unfortunate
Ino
thing.
over Hinata?
Hinata gets a glow down. Not only does Hinata, dude, they give Hinata's design in Boruto is brutal.
What
She's like 32. She looks 40. Her hair is short. They nerfed her upstairs compartments, her fun bags.
They had budget cuts?
Yeah, absolutely. Season 2 had a big production debacle when it came to Hinata's airbags. Yeah, Hinata Boruto. Look up her design. Not good. Ino. Now look up Ino's Bortra design.
I don't know. Hinata's pretty hot. I don't love bangs.
Yep.
I love a pale
Your
skin.
girlfriend has bangs.
I don't love them.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm a fan.
I ask her to grow them out all the time.
Yeah.
Boruto. Let's see what this.
You're gonna.
My Lord and Savior.
Yeah, they gave her a disgusting upgrade.
Oma Stars and Garters.
Yeah. Wah wee wah.
Wow. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
But if I could go the other way, just the other way for a quick tangent.
Yeah.
Bakugo's mom.
Yeah. You're darn tootin'.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? You're darn tootin'.
Absolutely. I'm letting her take me for a ride.
I'll do a curveball here because you've already picked 12 out of 10s. I'll say on a technicality, Teacher from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Pretty good. But the whole thing is that she...
Technically a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically a mom.
Her whole thing is that she kind of isn't. That's kind of her issue.
Well...
You a big dreads guy?
Technically hot.
You big dreads guy?
She's just a fucking fine gal, and her husband is just a truck and a half.
That's the thing. The thing is, with both Ino and Bakugo's mom, no dad in the picture. Ino, Sai, I can beat Sai out. Oh, what are you gonna paint a bird to fly me away? Get out of here, you fucking loser. I'll punch it. I'll be covered in ink. Oh no, whatever I do.
You're not her type.
Who? Ino?
Yeah.
Ino's type is attention. That's it.
Ino's type is clearly Sai.
I guess it's technically
and
Sasuke
you are no
because
Sai.
everyone calls Sai Sasuke Jr. But you're not outdoing Teacher's husband.
I'm Italian.
That's a man. That's a man.
I'll give you this. That is a man.
Yeah.
She just wants a big burly bear of a dude. Yeah, I could get there.
That's who you are. That's what people say about Dan.
Enough pasta. He's no Armstrong. Like, it's not muscle. That's Italian girth.
That's Armstrong sees him and is like, salute, soldier.
Yeah, but that's genes. That's thick bones and some good old strigonona pasta.
Yeah, because you got the genes for big and burly. Let's go the other way.
Yep.
No ladies, go for men.
Can I say her husband?
Yeah, I was gonna say you would go for her husband.
No, let's see. Best
Isshin Kurosaki.
Whom?
Ichigo's dad.
Ichigo's.
Yeah, Papa. Isshin Kurosaki. He's a doctor. He's a Shinigami. He's a great dad.
I don't like his hair.
What? Let me see. No, he looks like Asuma. He's just Asuma in Bleach.
I don't like his hair. He looks like the lead singer of Skillet.
Oh my god, he does. No, he looks. You know what he looks like? He actually looks like the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah. What? No chance with this.
Okay. All right.
He's like a less attractive version of Asta's mentor.
Yami?
Yeah.
Not a dad though.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's unfortunate.
Who's a dad? Ozai's pretty hot.
Ozai is kind of hot. Low-key.
Real hot.
But bad guy, though.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You know? Ooh, this is a conversation piece that was brought up recently. What kind of element would you bend? Not only, give it to me this way. All right, there's two ways to answer this.
Yeah.
Tell me what kind of element you would like to bend, and then tell me based off the rules that you understand of the Avatar Airbender universe, what element you would most likely be born bending.
I'd like to bend water. It's the best one.
It's not true, but that's fine.
I'd probably be an earth or firebender.
I said you'd be a firebender.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's tough with firebenders because we don't know any firebenders that aren't fascist nationalists.
That's not true.
Like who? Other than like Mako, but Mako's like just Zuko 2.0.
I guess. There's the who's the fire avatar prior to
Roku?
Yeah, Roku.
Well,
we kind of get Roku's backstory in one of the light novels where we see him like having to bend the volcanoes. Yeah. Like 3 volcanoes explode. And I think Ozai flies out to help him and Ozai lets him die or something.
Yeah. No, I don't think Ozai.
Yeah, I think it's Ozai. I think Ozai and Roku were friends.
What a fucking...
No, they wouldn't be. That's too far apart.
They're friends.
No, because Roku...
Not Ozai, yeah. Azulon.
Yeah.
Or no, Sozin.
Yeah, that's what it is, Sozin.
Can I just... Another tangent? Mm-hmm. What an absolute fucking doofus to die as the Avatar fighting 3 volcanoes.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah.
Just leave.
I think it's his hometown.
Everyone has left.
Yeah.
And if it's getting sticky,
fly away.
Fly out of there.
Fly away. Well, he can't fly. He doesn't have a glider.
Don't die to 3 volcanoes.
Yeah.
There's no reason he should have.
No. Could he lava bend? Maybe. Probably. Because
We've seen him lava bend a bit. It's a lot of volcanoes, I will admit.
There's also the other fire avatar who could only bend fire. And we see him and he's launching volcanoes. It's not Roku, it's the one before him. But I said you'd be a firebender.
To who?
We were talking, me, Amos, Mackenzie, and Dorothy were talking to me this.
Why'd you say that?
Because I said firebenders and everyone's assumes firebenders are like fascists and all that. And I was like, firebenders are not, they're industrialists. And I was like, I thought you brought up a really good point where you're like, it makes sense that firebenders industrialize because everybody else could live essentially off the elements that they have, and you just can't do that with fire unless you're using it to boil water and create energy. Right. But energy needs to be converted into industrial means. And so I was like, you're a technology centric person who's I'd say you have beliefs, but you have you told me there's two reasons that people do things: fucking people over and fucking people.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so I was like, Danny would be a firebender. What do you think I would be?
The most often, if we've seen any charismatic people, it's usually in the Earth Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very stubborn. Are you stubborn, would you say? I don't know if you are.
No.
I don't think you're air. Because you like things. You love things.
Oh, I love things.
You're materialistic.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of waterbending examples either.
Unfortunately, also, waterbenders are all natives.
Yeah.
And it's I am shockingly white. So it's really hard to it's hard to divide, do the racial divide when it's there's air nomads who are clearly Buddhists.
Yeah.
There's natives who are waterbenders. Earthbenders are kind of just city folk. And then firebenders are also kind of just industrialists.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's small character pools to pull from because we don't see a lot of waterbenders in general.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are extinct.
Yeah.
And they're all very they're traditionalists. They're a lot like airbenders because we see in the Northern Water Tribe, they're very sexist.
Yeah.
And they're very bent on tradition. And earthbenders, like I said, earthbenders are we've seen them the most. We've been to more Earth Kingdoms.
Yeah.
So we've seen a larger variety of earthbender behavior, which is why I want to put you there because Varric and Korra, very charismatic. Bolin is very charismatic. Toph is very comical and charismatic.
Yeah.
I think you belong in Earth.
I think I say Earth Kingdom for myself, but only because they're the most scientific. The way that they define their avatar, I am they're splitting it and doing
it's
halves.
an insane fucking geometric thing.
Yeah, it's the spiral. It's the spiral thing.
The Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, that's all we have, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a request. One of the first things that our fans ever did for us as a podcast was that they made us a bingo card.
Right, yeah.
And I feel now, for my birthday, what I'm asking for is another Otakus Anonymous bingo card because I feel we've changed.
An update?
But at the same time, I feel we haven't. And so I'm going to give you a couple of things. Danny talks about two wolves.
Yeah.
Nick.
I wish I had it on me.
It'd
be fun to, because I was going to say things that we don't do anymore.
You don't muss with your hair as much as you used to.
And you don't show off your tattoos.
Yes.
You haven't in quite a bit.
Yeah, I haven't showed them off. You're right, I haven't.
I think that's just us both getting to know each other more.
That's
we
fair.
started this having met each other 3 times.
Yes.
And so it's me doing this nervous thing and you being by the way, have I told you about your tattoos?
Yeah, you look at the boobie?
Yeah. What else were they?
Boobs. Ding ding ding.
Ding ding ding.
Yep.
We need that bell still.
We still need the bell.
But what ones don't we do anymore? What have we aged out of to be replaced?
I wish we still had the bingo card,
That's
man.
What I'm saying.
It might be in the Discord channel. It'd be so far back. It'd
A
be so far
year
back. So next week, what I'm requesting is that you guys maybe all work together on the Discord. Members get together, work on the Discord, build out a bingo card for us, and then me and Danny I don't know, like for the next couple of episodes, if you guys get a bingo, we'll, I don't know,
Do a frog type beat.
we'll do a frog type beat, something like that. We'll do some prize if we actually hit a bingo. And whoever gets it first gets a little kiss or something like that. But thank you guys so much. 2 birthdays on this podcast. It's been great.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
You're 40 now.
I'm 45, actually. Please round up. I look terrible. I actually do look bad. I got banged up this week.
Well, you were on a plane today.
I got banged up this week bad. But yeah, no, I've been Nick, also known as NCAmber23, the Weeb Commander. I miss and love all you guys. We're going to put another episode out on Tuesday. So we're going to watch MHA and Prince Mononoke and all that. Because obviously put this one out late. So you guys are going to get 2 pods real close to each other. And you're going to have to deal with it. All right.
Yeah. I got to figure out when I'm doing all this shit. Because we also are shooting AnimeIRL Sunday and Monday.
Yeah. Maybe. I have no confirmation from the anime men yet. Dope.
I'd love for them to say no.
We love you. Bye. Mwah.
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.